exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It is Tuesday, and we are happy to be here with you post-Memorial Day. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I certainly did with my husband. We took that Ohio trip. I've been talking about that for a while, and we probably will get to some of the details of that little vacation that my husband and I took in honor of his 40th birthday this year, and hit Cleveland on a Friday night, Columbus, Ohio on a Saturday night, back to the Metro East here on Sunday. It was a whirlwind, but it was great. I hope you had some time to refresh and to think about what Memorial Day is and what it means to all of us as Americans. And you know, that should translate straight out of Memorial Day into a conversation that we could have today about what is American. I think about people who believe so much in what our country stands for that they were able to say, yeah, I'm going to sign up for this, hoping that they would come home, but maybe they never did. That is an incredible sacrifice that we often don't involve in the conversation. When we're talking about politics, when we're talking about this presidential candidate or that presidential candidate, or we're discussing Joe Biden and what he wants for the country or what the party that he serves, I don't know, you serve a party, what they want for the country. All of this, all the bickering, all the arguing, all the disagreeing, all is blessed under the blood of people who died to make it so that we could have those disagreements among the people in this country. And that cannot be forgotten. There has been a lot of news that has transpired since I've been gone. I haven't been here since Wednesday. And, of course, Wednesday night was the Twitter space with Ron DeSantis, probably old news for most people. I haven't gotten a chance to talk about it, so we're going to discuss that here on the show today, what I thought about it and what has transpired since then. And also, I'm excited to talk to Mark Krikorian about this. We're going to talk to him at 1:05, and we're going to talk to him about what's going on the southern border. And it's very, very key that we look into what these plans are right now for the southern border with this current administration, how dramatic it was as a difference to the previous generation or to the previous administration. And we say to ourselves, who's got the best plan? Who's going to get this border secure? Here's President Trump speaking on the issue.
As part of my plan to secure the border on day one of my new term in office, I will sign an executive order making clear to federal agencies that under the correct interpretation of the law, going forward, the future children of illegal aliens will not receive automatic U.S. citizenship.
Making sure that that there's not this, automatic citizenship that is doled out. A lot of people will say that there are a lot of carrots dangling in front of these people who are moving across that southern border to come here. And you got to ask yourself, why would people be so invested, so interested in bringing a flood of people over the southern border? Especially knowing that it's the middle of 2023 right now. We are 3 years removed from when this entire country shut down and didn't allow anybody to share any space with anybody because everybody was afraid. Now we have a southern border being flooded, and it's the same party who's doing one and the other. Why is that? Why do we have such differing opinions? You have to look at what the political advantages are for both. And also the fear that is created by both, because most people act out of fear way more than they act out of a sense of thoughtful consideration for all of the possible outcomes. So in addition to that news, we'll speak with Mark Krikorian at 1:05. Stick around for that. we have a new circuit attorney. This is big news
Gore
in St.
lives,
Louis.
works, and raised his family here in the city of St. Louis, and those are some reasons why Governor Parson says he appointed the former federal prosecutor. Gore was most recently a partner at the law firm Dowd Bennett and worked there for more than a decade, according to Gore's LinkedIn page. 18 candidates applied for the St. Louis Circuit Attorney job, and the governor narrowed it down to 3 finalists before his announcement of Gore on May 19th. The governor says Gore was not a political pick here, and it is important to mention to our viewers this morning this appointment is only temporary. That's because voters are going to have the final say on St. Louis's circuit attorney in 2024.
So, as I said, I've been on vacation celebrating a long Memorial Day weekend with my husband, with my family for 5 days. Come back and we have an appointed circuit attorney in St. Louis. And so there's only one person who I want to know the report, the full thought on this, and that is Kevin Killeen with KMOX, and he joins us now. Kevin, thanks for coming in here.
Well, you're an extreme poor judge of character.
Oh, well, I'll take it. I'll take the criticism, and I will still ask you, Gabe Gore, what do you know about this guy?
Gabe Gore is a 52-year-old, kind of a household name in the St. Louis legal community. He's been around for 30 years. He's worked at the big battleship of Dowd Bennett. And that's one of the criticisms of him. Dowd Bennett was part of the Greitens defense team. And here, it's like the revenge of the Greitens defense team. A guy from there ends up getting the job. He has also served as a federal assistant U.S. attorney, so he has courtroom experience. He's just got a reputation for being, if you sat next to him at a party, you might think, this guy is not too flashy, but he seems very smart and very methodical. And I keep hearing that word about him over and over, methodical.
Yeah.
And he's got to hack through a jungle of backlog felony cases, hundreds of them.
Let's start there, because there's a lot of different ways to have the conversation about a new circuit attorney. A lot of them could start with Kim Gardner, but let's just leave Kim Gardner out of the conversation for the moment. When Gabe Gore comes in here and he's looking at this mess that has been left behind by the previous circuit attorney, where does he start?
He says his first job will be to rebuild the staff. So many people left. I mean, we've had the stories about how there were, contempt of court proceedings because no one was able to show up. So he said, I want to rebuild the senior staff first and then the general staff. These are dozens of lawyers. He wouldn't give us an exact number, but in the past, it's been like 60 to 90 lawyers who work there under Circuit Attorney Jennifer Joyce. She had a lot, about 90. So he says, we got to get the senior staff in place and then rebuild the office. And there will be lawyers on loan from Wesley Bell's office and surrounding circuits, and even some law firms are in the mix here. But it's all sort of happening sort of like, an Andy Rooney movie where they say, let's put on a show, and then everybody's running into town to get their part in the show. So we don't know how many people have signed up yet, and he was a little vague on the numbers. But there is just this general, it was almost like waiting in line at Ted Drew's. There's sort of a good vibe about the whole room.
There's a buzz.
Yeah, it's a feeling that if St. Louis's criminal justice system had hit a low point on the stock market, the stock is rising. It's
a buy. Okay. All right. We're speaking with Kevin Killeen on Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore being sworn in today, as I understand it. I wonder how the mood is among law enforcement. I always think about law enforcement and kind of how they are a huge part of this conversation, but often not talked about because the politics supersede. It's the sexier conversation to have. Does law enforcement get to have a different mentality? Do they have a buzz, a pep in their step when they get up and put the uniform on now that maybe their work is going to be utilized?
Well, the police chief was there. I'll tell you what he said. Sometimes chiefs have a different take than the rank and file. There was no one from the rank and file there, like from the union. But Police Chief Robert Tracy said he is very encouraged that it could have a deterrent effect. For so long, the criminals, and some of them have been quoted as saying, go ahead and arrest me. Kim will let me go. And he's saying that
gutsy.
Tracy is saying, maybe this will send the message that there's a new circuit attorney in town.
So when the new person is in place now and there's a buzz, is there excitement to become a part of the circuit attorney's office? Is that where, I don't know anything about the legal world. It all looks very fancy to me. Do people seek that out, or I would assume it's a feeling of service?
Yeah, I mean, if it looked bad on a resume a month ago, it would look good on a resume today. And the reason young lawyers want to join the office, it doesn't pay nearly as well as a private firm. It's great courtroom experience. If you want to be one of these lawyers someday that has a billboard that says hurt in a truck accident, you need experience in a courtroom where you're on the other side prosecuting and you know the mechanics and flow of a trial. So it's sort of like an internship program, or that's not the right, what do you call it when a doctor gets
apprenticeship or something?
Apprentice gets out.
Residency?
It's sort of like a residency for lawyers. It's a healthy thing on a resume to serve as a prosecutor.
So, St. Louis has not ceased to be a very strong Democrat political stronghold. Mayor Tashara Jones, when this all started, didn't give a vote of confidence to Kim Gardner. But I can't imagine, well, I don't know. How does the mayor feel about this? What is the Democratic left, who probably enjoyed the Kim Gardner entry, maybe not so much the actual practice of what she was doing there? What's the political feel right now with the mayor and down?
Oh, the mayor was there and she got in and out without having any sort of gaggle or talking to the reporters. It's a very awkward thing for progressives because, and also just as people who are friends, there was some friendship there. At one point, Black Girl Magic, remember that? You had Cori Bush, Tashara Jones, and Kim Gardner doing a news conference talking about how they had this invincible quality Black Girl Magic. And then part of the magic show gets kicked out of office.
What do you do?
You don't want to kick her when she's down. And there's been a lot of respect and deference toward Kim Gardner from Mayor Jones. Nobody's kicking her when she's down. But I think privately, you hear from their staff, they're so glad she's out. She was bad for the brand. She didn't play well with others. And, it was hard to get things done with her.
Do we know? What was it, the epicenter of the Kim Gardner problem? Was she just genuinely bad at her job? Was it all politics? What was the outcome she was seeking? Because I can't imagine this was it.
You're asking me to lift the hood and tell you how the engine Gardner works.
Tell me how it runs under there and
this
where
is
the problem
a
was.
hood that has never been lifted before in the air.
Do it here, right now on the Annie Frey Show.
I don't know if I can. I've wondered that same thing. What is Kim Gardner's whole thing? Is she a Marxist who had coffee with George Soros, and he said, I'll get you in there and then just do nothing? And she said, that's great. Or is she...
There are a lot of people listening right now who are confident that is what happened.
Or is she a North St. Louisan who has seen friends, maybe family members who have been arrested and their eyes mistreated by the system, and she wanted to reverse that, reverse the rate of African-American incarceration, and maybe that was her prime motivation.
Did she succeed at that?
I don't have the numbers, but, the cases were so far down.
Hard to say she didn't.
And the other one is she just someone who was way in over her head, the Peter principle, promoted beyond her ability to the point where she was overwhelmed and just didn't know how to run the store?
Yeah. I think that I always try to, especially in conversations with people who are not on my side of the aisle for whatever reasons, we all have our different life experiences and perspectives. It's sometimes easy when you're so steeped in politics all the time to not consider the most obvious thing, which is that she might have just been terrible at her job. And we've all worked with people before in our careers who are just really bad at their job. They're in the wrong place. It's not the right fit for them. But there are things that come into this conversation that certainly cloud it with politics. And when you look at a guy like Gabe Gore and the governor, I'll play a clip here real quick from Governor Parson speaking about Gabe Gore.
Parson did tell our Emily Manley last week that he would support Gore if he decided to run for office in next year's election. Parson believes Gore is someone that can turn around the, quote, mismanagement and turmoil left by former Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner. She stepped down 2 weeks ago and 2 weeks ahead of schedule. She initially had said on May 4th that she would be leaving office on June 1st.
Well, that's not obviously the governor speaking, but there's support coming from the Republican governor's office for this Circuit Attorney position to run for re-election. I got to think that even if it's not going to be exactly what the conservative right would want in St. Louis, you really have to understand where you are and what the reality is. Gabe Gore going in and actually prosecuting crime is a big step.
Yeah, and the Republicans like it because, traditionally part of their big interest is business interest, and crime is bad for business. One of the people in the audience today was Jason Hall of the Greater St. Louis, the booster group, Greater St. Louis Inc., And he was sitting there like he's, at wrestling at the Chase, and he's ready to cheer for his guy.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people there, the rudderless ship of chaos Judge Michael Noble, with the Captain America shield on his wall. I asked him afterwards, what do you think? He said the ship has a rudder and the ship has a good captain.
That's great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. And as Mr. Gore gets into his position, will you come back and talk to us about how he's doing?
Yeah. Oh, one other thing. I kind of threw him a little frisbee today. We're doing the Q&A. I said, because he wants to rebuild relations, I said, what about these people here? And I pointed to the media. I said, the previous circuit attorney had a really strained relationship. What are you going to do to rebuild that? And everybody's like,
ooh.
And but he gave a good answer. He said, yeah, we're going to have news conferences. We won't have them every week, but we will, talk to you more and,
Well, that's how you get that's
try
where
to build relationship.
Kevin Killeen from Camo X understands that you are the voice of the people, and asking the hard questions gets the answers that the people want. There are very few people in the media anymore who care what the people want.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm just trying to get to lunch.
That turkey sandwich is waiting. Thanks for being with us, Kevin Killeen. We appreciate you. Camo X reporter and our go-to for this local news here in the city of St. Louis. We're going to take a quick break. Cassie Smedile is going to join us. She's the vice president of Coin, and it's a conservative credit card, and it's a place where you can take your conservative spending power and buying power and apply it to something like that. But she's also worked with the RNC. She's worked with pro-conservative PACs, and we're going to talk about the importance of states like Missouri and Illinois come primary season. I keep saying, Illinois Republicans, your vote won't matter anywhere more than it will in that Illinois Republican primary. So stay tuned. Cassie Smedile when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
The Diamond Shop, online at thediamondshop.net, is a destination for your confidence. When you are looking to make an investment and you're looking to, it could be something for yourself, but a lot of times it's for somebody else. Maybe you're shopping with somebody for somebody else. When you walk into the Diamond Shop, it doesn't matter if you know exactly what you want or you just know who you want to bless. The Diamond Shop is going to walk you through the process and help you get what you need in a budget that works for you. They have a special financing, 6 months, same as cash. So when you go in there, it can spread out the payments over the course of 6 months. And it's the same as if you just walked out with it, paying for it that day. That's fantastic. And you can also become a VIP online at thediamondshop.net and get special discounts and merchandise by becoming a VIP. It's free to do that. Go online to thediamondshop.net and you will be able to see exactly how to do that. You're also going to be able to find their location, located in Clayton. They've been in St. Louis since 1910, but their shop in Clayton, absolutely stunning and beautiful. I love going there. I know you will too. Find them online at thediamondshop.net.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Max is the streaming service for every mood. Today you're feeling like Khaleesi, the mother of dragons.
I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms.
Tomorrow you may feel like Harry Potter.
Expecto Patronum!
Sometimes you feel a little grouchy.
And I love being grouchy.
Or you feel like an adventure.
I'm on my way to Flavortown!
And sometimes you just need a laugh with friends.
Pivot! Pivot!
No matter what mood you're in, Max has it all. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit Max.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-981-4455. That's 800-981-4455. 800-981-4455.
Next, we're going to speak with Cassie Smedile, and then Wiggins is going to come into the studio for a weekend roundup. The time is 12:27. This update is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
If you're a fan of 97.1, get a t-shirt. Visit 971talk.com/merch to see all the new t-shirt designs and show your support for St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
The bar is where I go. Me and my friends at the table doing shots.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop it, and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not.
When Target caves into this, then it says that the moment you threaten the employees of even a very large corporation, you get to control its policies. This is economic terrorism, literally terrorism, creating fear among the workers and forcing the corporations to sell the things you want and not sell the things you don't.
So economic terrorism, you boycotters. MSNBC pundit says that this is a little bit of economic terrorism for you folks who are looking to save your money from Target and take it somewhere else, or maybe Bud Light, or maybe North Face, or can't even keep up with all of the different places right now. Well, I want to talk to my next guest. My friend Cassie Smedile joins us. She is the vice president of Coin, and we're going to talk a little bit about what Coin is. First of all, I'll tell you, it's a conservative credit card. What in the world is a conservative credit card? Well, we're going to find out from Cassie here in a minute. But Cassie, you and I have been having conversations for years about the political scene. And these boycotts right now are having some massively detrimental effects for people who have decided to make some very political decisions with their corporations.
Yes. Hey, Annie, so good to be back with you. And this is showing the power of the parallel economy. This is showing what happens when you make a decision as a business that upsets 50% of the population. And as we well know, so many of these businesses are run, at least at the upper echelons, almost exclusively by people of one political persuasion. Very rarely are they at least a balanced mix if they have any sort of intellectual diversity at all. And so when they're making these decisions, like we saw with Bud Light, it's tone deaf. They are in an echo chamber. It doesn't even cross their mind that they are going to do something off-putting to their customer. And that's why you're seeing these decisions come out, and then they're shocked at the reaction to them. Except for those of us who live out here in the real world, we're saying, how did they not see this coming? How did they think that was really not even, you take the case of Bud Light. We've talked about this a lot, that people aren't saying, I'm for this or I'm opposed to that. They're just saying, how dare you now ascribe politics to my beer choice? I'm just trying to have a beer. Why does everything have to be political? Why does everything have to make a political statement? And now see what you've done there. Now you've gone and made this a conversation when I'm just trying to stand at the grill or at the ball game and have a beer. Now it says something about me that I didn't have any interest in it saying. That's the issue. And that for the left now, it didn't have to be a left or right issue. But the left now has gone on to now say, well, you're a bigot or you're wrong for then having this. And they're saying, no, I just want to be left alone.
Right.
I just want to be able to choose a beer because I like the taste. Or I just want to go into the store, Target or whatever, because it's convenient and has all the things that I need. And now you are ascribing something about me that I have no interest in. And that's the issue here that I think these companies continue not to get, is that they're trying to pigeonhole, well, this, as you just talked about, that now folks are saying, well, I'm not going to shop there anymore. The detractors on the left will say, well, that must mean that you're a hateful person. No, it just means I don't want everything to be a political statement.
Yes.
And I'm tired of people coming after me and trying to say that I'm wrong or a bad person. So that's the underside to this debate, that I think most people just want to be left alone and be able to go about their way and not have to keep up with what political statement they should be making or what's on the cancel culture list today.
It's so important, too, to understand that I think Bud Light is a perfect example of a company that has been one of the main sponsors of Pride events across the country for years. Mm-hmm. I think it's been since 2017 or 2018. They've been sponsoring Pride events. That's something that they've been involved in. People were still drinking Bud Light. It wasn't something that at that point in time was put front and center. And then, you know, Bud Light sends, according to their CEO, one can to one person. It wasn't a big campaign. They really tried to push it off. And what I think that these companies haven't really wrapped their arms around yet to understand is, I don't believe that it's so much Dylan Mulvaney that was the problem at Bud Light. I think it was the video that came out of that marketing exec who was talking very, very boldly about the problematic image of Bud Light and the old fratty culture, and referred to Bud Light as a dying brand, and said the only way to resurrect it was inclusivity. I really feel like that was the key to Bud Light's demise. I go to Disney and I think about the videos that were leaked from those DEI meetings or whatever, and they're talking about, you know, I used to try to sneak things in and I realized nobody was stopping me everywhere, so I'm putting gay stuff, that's almost a quote, into Disney stuff every chance I get. And when you start hearing the inner workings of this and you realize what they're trying to do because they're telling you, that's a lot different than Bud Light signs at a Pride event, or Dylan Mulvaney holding up a can, or something you're watching on Disney Plus, and you see it and you kind of tilt your head like, are they trying to do what I think they're trying to do? We know what they're trying to do.
That is such a good point, that people were fine with it being one piece of an overall marketing plan. Okay, you're there, you're here too, you're at the baseball game, you're at the draft, whatever, but you're also this. I think that's such a good point. But then to see these leaked videos of this broader agenda at play, and people being duped by that. And by the way, using a brand and taking advantage of that brand loyalty, because Disney or Bud Light, I mean, they've 50 plus years of building up that brand and building up that trust with their customers. And then to know that there's this agenda going on behind the scenes that doesn't match all that we've been told. It's that deception that I think you're spot on, that people are fed up with.
Yeah.
And if I may segue to what we do at Coin. So Coin is a Visa-backed credit card. It was thought up and built by conservatives. And let me tell you, the people that we have at this team, I just joined it 6 months ago, people who came in from the biggest financial services companies in the world, the biggest credit cards, the biggest banks. And they were so fed up with what we talked about, this agenda that was happening in those companies, that when they saw this opportunity to join this startup and to bring their skills and know-how over here, they jumped. I mean, they went from that cushy life of being at an established financial services company to coming over here to this startup, because this is happening. And it is happening, and it's so pervasive at every facet and sector. And so what Coin does, what makes us different, not only that you can trust that the people behind the scenes believe as you do and are like-minded, but that a portion of every dollar spent, a portion of those fees that we collect, as every credit card company does, goes into a literal Coin charity bucket. And every quarter we work and we vet several charities, and we push out 4 that our cardholders can vote on. And those charities are conservative causes, conservative organizations that that share our values and are doing the work that matches the country we want to live in and want to raise our children in. And so it's that power of your purse, your wallet, your decisions, but you can still go shop wherever you want to shop, because let's be honest, like, as boycotts are one thing, but they don't last in perpetuity, many of them, because at some point that store is still going to be more convenient than going 10 more miles down the road, especially if gas continues to be expensive. But you can take your card and you can say, but I know that if I have to shop here, that a portion of that money I'm spending is getting reinvested in something that I'm glad to support, and something that is going to bring the power of commerce back into conservative hands. And the end result, you get enough people doing this. When these companies do make these decisions, you've got this whole network of people, for example, here at Coin, saying, hey, our Coin customer base spends X millions of dollars with your company, and you're turning that off. They are no longer going to spend there. That we can show you real math of what you will lose. And that starts to have an effect on their bottom line, and they can see that. So that's kind of the ultimate goal here, right? And how many times have you heard it, Annie? I'm confident you get this all the time from your listeners, of saying, okay, if I can't go to Target anymore, like, what is my alternative? And it's really hard to find those places. And I think some groups, Public Square and others, are doing a good job of heeding this moment. But it's really hard to keep up with the places that match your values. So from our perspective, you can live as you wish, and know that every time you spend a dollar, that some part of that dollar is going into something that matches your values.
Well, if you're listening right now and this is of interest to you, maybe you just want to check it out and learn a little bit more about it. It's coin.com, COIGN.com. We're speaking with Cassie Smedile right now, as the vice president of Coin. And, I want to talk to you a little bit. When we're talking about conservative buying power, it is clear. It's probably never been more evident how powerful it is in mass. And so if you go to a place like Coin and that's of interest to you as a listener here, check it out, see if it's right for you, and then give me the feedback once you do that. I think about where we sit in St. Louis and how interesting of an area this is politically, because we're right here on the Mississippi River. We have a what I would consider, of course, being from Illinois, a very red state in the state of Missouri. And I live in Illinois, which is an incredibly blue state. It's almost Navy. And when it comes to a primary that we are actively in right now, both of those states are going to be very valuable in different ways to these candidates who are going to traverse the country trying to win all of the states that they possibly can to perform well, to become the nominee. I'm wondering how the Midwest, in your opinion, Cassie, of working with the RNC and many other, like PACs and everything, how does the Midwest, specifically maybe this area, fit into the equation of interest of these people running for president to get our votes, to get our attention and our support?
Well, here's how it should fit in, if anybody was listening in on our call today, that if you can't turn out your base, you can't win. And so from the Missouri side, as you know, I'm a Kansas City girl. Everybody, now all of a sudden Missouri's become this flyover state. Everyone just flies right over to Iowa, which is also becoming more and more red. But they all rush to Iowa, and it's like, but wait a minute. Over here in Missouri, it's a state you can't take for granted. You need people to be excited about you, and you need turnout to be very high here in order to secure what you need here in Missouri and then across the country. You cannot take it for granted. But drill down a little bit more, and then I'll get to the alternative in Illinois. Drill down a little more. I was actually just talking to my dad about this the other day. He's very involved with Clay County over on right outside Kansas City. And they are dealing with this DEI stuff. What happens in the state legislature can pass bills that are in line with our values, but the Kansas City City Council is putting forth measures basically to override that, talking about biological women in sports, that kind of stuff. This is something that's just happened recently. And, of course, the Kansas City Council is technically nonpartisan, except that all but one are actually Democrats, and so they're trying to put pressure on the surrounding counties to implement these policies, overriding the legislature. So, yes, we're talking about the presidential primary, and they need to turn out their base. They need to pay attention to people who have been supportive of them for a long time. But if COVID taught us anything, or reminded us, although some of us may have slept through these civics lessons in grade school. But what
It would appear
happens
so.
at our local, right, our local and state levels is just as, if not more important, as what's happening federally. I mean, look at the mess in Washington, and they're hoping you keep your eye on that and ignore how the left is using their pervasive agenda, implementing it at the state, local, county, city levels. So it's all very important. And if I'm a national politician, I'm drilling in on that as well, that we have to stand united up and down the ticket. And they are preying on every state, including ones that you would say are safely red states, to implement this agenda. They have these activists. They have these, what do you call them, the community organizers. Remember when we used to laugh about that? Barack Obama was just a community organizer.
Right.
I mean, these people they have no lives. This is their life. And it is pervasive. And so we have to keep our eyes open and our head on the swivel. And I do hope that these national candidates will be smart again about making sure that Missourians know their eyes are on us as well, and that their policies and their agenda will be mindful of that. And then in the inverse, as we just go over to Illinois, I see the new mayor in Chicago, and then unfortunately had a horrible crime weekend in Chicago. Doesn't feel like anything's going to change, but this is your opportunity from a local level out or up, I guess, to the federal, to say this matters, and we're going to start small, and we're going to make these inroads closest to home and make you pay attention to us, because people just think it's a lost cause. And I think the Democrats clearly take Illinois for granted, not just electorally, but from a policy perspective as well. They see the crime numbers, they see the economic numbers, and they don't care. And, when they stop by, it's like Kamala doing some, passive visit, or Dr. Jill going to like a community college. It's nothing ever meaningful. They completely take it for granted. And I hope that Illinoisans wake up to see how poorly served they are by all levers of their government. But I know I know you have these friends as well. I have friends who started Republicans when you're in college. They live in Illinois, and they're all latte liberals now. And I think I say, well, you get what you voted for. And I don't know when they will wake up.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue that will be interesting to see how these primary candidates pay attention to these different states, because you still got to win the state. And if you're a Republican vying for Republican votes in Missouri, I hope that they pay a lot of attention to the state, unless they feel like they got it locked up or it's a lost cause one way or the other. But I have a feeling that we're on par for another 525 days until Election Day, at least. Of just an onslaught of if I could quote you on that.
And ads, it's like, so close yet so far. But if I could say really quick back to our earlier conversation, is that where people might feel like their vote has been taken for granted, your pocketbook cannot be taken for granted. And so that is, if you want to make people pay attention, use the power of your purse. Yes, your vote, but your purse, to make it very clear what you will tolerate and what you won't, because money talks even to politicians.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Cassie, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. Vice President of Coin, COIGN. Go to coin.com to learn more about the conservative credit card. Interesting to learn about that today. I didn't know about that before today, Cassie, so I appreciate you coming on to talk to us about that. And 525 days more opportunity to speak with you in the future. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thank you, Annie. Always great to be with you.
You as well. Bye-bye, Cassie. Fellow Missouri girl, other side of the state. It's always great to have her here on the show with us. Quick break. Wiggins America with a weekend roundup, a little bit extended weekend roundup. We have an extra day in there. And we'll talk to him and see what Ryan Wiggins has to say when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Me and my friends at the table doing shots, drinking fast, and then we talk slow. And you come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop it, and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your...
The Retirement Advisor Group, Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, this family-owned and operated business, is there to ensure that your retirement is worry-free. And I look at the economy every day as somebody who still has at least 20 years left of working, God willing, that it's a ways away from me. But if you're in your late 50s, if you're in your early 60s, maybe your mid 60s, maybe you're still working in your late 60s or your 70s, you want to make sure that when retirement does arrive, that you can exhale during that retirement. All the work you've done, all the sacrificing and saving you've done, you want to make sure that it's protected. That's why you go to the Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw Retirement Advisory Group. If you call them now at 314-993-9494, you can schedule a no-cost, no obligation retirement review that is going to give you everything you need, all the information that you need to know to decide whether you want to pursue a relationship with them and get your retirement to that worry-free point. It is a simple phone call away. Sit down and listen to what they have to say. You'll get a copy of their second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. That gives you all that information on paper as well. 314-993-9494. Find them online at retirementkey.com.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pills or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now and your initial consultation and first treatment with our physicians are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
Mark Reardon sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Maholtred Ophthalmology Associates. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today. That's youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things, for our planet. When planning your summer vacation, pick a destination close to where you live to limit the impact of fuel to get there. There might even be areas of your own city you want to explore in depth. And if you're planning to go camping, learn how to have a leave no trace trip, so you can leave the campsite the same way or even cleaner than you found it. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. You found it here.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
Throw a little salt on my doorstep. Burn a little candle or two.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Shine a little light on the part of me that won't stop thinking of you.
Wiggins! Oh! Monday Roundup!
Tuesday Roundup!
I know it's Tuesday. We all know it's Tuesday, but it feels like a Monday.
I don't know.
We are uncertain that it is Tuesday.
Does it make you happy when somebody says, hey, remember it's Tuesday?
Not right now.
Not right now. I mean, behind the scenes, we're dealing with some things here, people.
Yeah.
And
it is on fire over here,
it's
not
not
in a good
on
way.
fire. It's not on fire. It's hot.
It's been a long weekend.
Don't put a magnifying glass
It's
on this because it
spicy
will.
right now.
It will catch.
Brad is on vacation, and Hannah has done a great job preparing the show. It's a really good show for you today. We've got a loaded show, And there's just some technological things that could happen to anybody at any time. And that's why if you're watching the YouTube live stream, you can't see Hannah's pretty face. So you should come on to the YouTube live stream and support Hannah right now because she needs the positive vibes.
Yeah.
And be there first because at some point her face is just going to pop up.
Tuesday Roundup.
Tuesday Roundup. So the first story I've got for you today is did you guys go to any barbecues or parties over the weekend? Yeah,
sure.
definitely. Me too. Did you notice, did you have to pick up condiments to go to these parties?
Didn't
or
know
did you
where
bring
that was going for a second.
Ketchup, barbecue sauce, could be other nicer toppings.
Mustard.
Really is up to you.
You
Inflation.
don't call like lettuce.
Or
Point of order clarification.
Yeah.
You've clarified.
Yes. So the inflation index is showing, and this is kind of making news because of the holiday weekend, that it has finally hit condiments more than anything right now.
No.
How does anybody know how much ketchup costs from ketchup bottle to ketchup bottle? They last forever.
They do, and I think that's probably why it's not noticed as much. It's delayed a little bit. Is it says data from Data Assembly's Grocery Price Index monitors changing prices at grocery stores shows that among the victims of recent price inflation is ketchup, which is up 28% compared to last year, mustard at 13%, and relish at 12%.
You ever like planning a party and you have to buy those things and you're like, okay, you're going to buy the meat. You're having people over. You need to know how much meat. And then you put the meat in and you ring it up. You're like, oh, that one hurt. But then it's still like twice what you expected to pay. And it's because all the little things that add up and they're all costing more. You go, holy smokes, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's all the little stuff. And that's why I think that's sort of an important little index to say that even things that maybe it hadn't caught on. I noticed ranch dressing randomly. It was 99 cents for the longest time. And now it's about $1.50.
What kind of ranch
wherever
dressing?
I go.
What?
I'm getting the cheap stuff because it's on the kids' sandwiches. They don't care.
Hillshire Farm, isn't that the right one? Or isn't that
Hidden Valley's a really good one
Hidden
too.
Valley.
Hillshire Farm, go meat.
Is that
ranch.
meat? Okay, well you put it with meat or whatever, anything you put on your cereal.
I was supposed to bring chips to the function, and I got just a regular plain chip, $5.
Really? Was it a deluxe bag or was it a regular bag of chips?
Just one chip?
No,
one regular plain chip?
One bag of chips.
You can buy a potato and fry them for cheaper than that.
America, people. One
Man.
chip, $5.
I think maybe you got ripped off.
That's probably going to happen. No, that's just the first thing I picked.
Tuesday Roundup.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's impeachment trial will start no later than August 28th. So,
I like how they say that like that soon.
Yeah, like no later than August 28th. That's very late in the summer, almost September. But they had to decide a date because they're getting ready to go on an extended absence like they do every summer, I guess. And the Republican, this is a weird story. Ken Paxton is being impeached for, they say, multiple allegations, including bribery and abuse of public trust. But he's being impeached by Republicans, and he's a Republican in Texas.
Been on the show.
Ken Paxton has?
Ryan, if you would just listen to the show.
That's awesome. Was it recent?
When he and Eric Schmidt were
That's what it
doing
was.
work.
I was going to say, how did you get Ken Paxton? That's the tie-in.
How did I get Ken Paxton?
I see now. Yeah, that's what stinks is he's been an amazing attorney general. So something like this, whatever it is.
Texas will find a replacement.
They will. They'll find somebody good. Do I have time for one? I do. How about this?
You got 3 minutes.
Officials in Georgia have had to draw attention to a growing issue in the state as the number of residents submitting their digital driver's license or ID photos without clothes is on the rise.
Georgia.
People are submitting nude photos of themselves for their own digital driver's license and IDs.
How much do they need to identify in Georgia?
I don't
Remind me not to speed.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's you? Take off your shirt. That's terrible. I don't even know if that's legal.
It's a real issue.
A lot of people going to Georgia now. Speeding.
I'd tell you where I'd go if I was a cop. Georgia.
Would you?
I don't know. I don't know where I'd go if I was a
It's
cop.
never the people you want to pull over and see. Hey, buddy.
That's true.
Promise you that.
That doesn't.
Yeah.
It never pans out the way in your mind it's going to.
Yeah, I mean, it could lead to profiling of who gets pulled over and who doesn't.
It will.
It will lead to profiling.
I don't think that anything about pulling people over in Georgia has anything to do with the story. Just in my wild fantasies.
Not really. Yeah, that's why I pulled this. Is just for your
Why are people
off-air sake.
Why are people taking photos of themselves naked?
It doesn't say.
Why are they taking their own photos?
They can't. Well, apparently you can do this all at home now. It's digital driver's license,
I had to do that for my conceal and carry.
and you could do it from
I just
home.
said that so everyone knows that I conceal and carry sometimes.
Did you face this same issue?
No. I hesitated there for no particular reason.
She's got guns.
You thought about it.
Which
and
photograph
determined
are we talking about?
No.
The CCL, definitely not
You
that
didn't.
one.
Was it even a temptation for you?
Passport?
No.
Maybe.
Oh. You have that fake tanner.
Hey, hey, Jesse White.
Feeling pretty good about myself.
Hey, Jesse White, check out this.
Denied.
Wouldn't that be terrible? I had all the paperwork and I paid you.
Just a big no. Nope.
We just didn't like the picture.
No wonder the fees keep going up.
Oh.
Just figured something out in Illinois.
Well, we got stuck on that one.
Stop
so.
sending us your nudes.
I'm just going to conclude with this.
Yeah, whip it out.
That's
The Paul
it.
Brown thing.
Wait.
Oh, don't say that. You did that.
Hannah.
Hannah.
This is a family show.
You genuinely did not try to do that,
My
did
kids
you?
are off school. They're at home listening right now.
I didn't.
Now they're going to know how Hannah really
We
is.
used to be able to get away with this stuff. In the summer, we really
Stop.
clean
We
it up,
really
Hannah.
gotta
She thinks
stop.
because her face isn't on the screen, she can say whatever she wants, and people will think it's Brad.
I meant the Wiggins Roundup.
We got a
whip.
break. Producer, we'll be back with Mark Krikorian with a much more button-up show in a minute.
Diamonds Direct takes our most popular offer ever up to the next level. Now, for a limited time, you can make any purchase and take advantage of special financing for up to 5 years, or get $5,000 off. Get the lowest possible monthly payment, or get a generous cash credit. It's all about giving you more. Design the ring of your dreams with our most flexible finance options and best savings ever offered. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com. On approved credit.
Mark Cox here from my friends at myemailservice.com. If you own a small company of 100 employees, you might save close to $10,000 a year by using their private email service. You get unmatched security. It keeps your confidential information protected and secure. And if you need support, they have fast local response for any issues you may come across. Check them out right now at myemailservice.com or give them a call at 314-216-2040.
I've had lots of conversations with people on this show, including Brad and Hannah, and then people in my own personal life, some friends this weekend, who didn't even know that Andrea's had a barbecue sauce, and that's okay because it is brand new. Their steak sauce has been around for a long, long time, and it is internationally known, locally famous, locally made Andrea's steak sauce. So you got to get a bottle of that. But while you're at it, check out their new barbecue sauce. Hannah, I'm going to ask you to turn on your mic just to say, like, it's great, isn't it?
It is so good.
It's
I
really
eat it with
good.
my lunch near daily.
This isn't just an on-air thing. I mean,
No,
this is something
not at
that
all.
we
I
all are
talked to you
like, man,
about
this
it.
barbecue sauce is fantastic.
I talk to you about it all the time off air.
Yes, and so does Brad. So if you haven't picked up a bottle, just like a friend of mine this weekend was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know they had it. You can go to Schnucks or Deerberg's. I'm actually at their website right now, Andreas.com. You can see, and this is kind of newer, that they have the whole list of all their sauces there, their barbecue sauce, their steak sauce, and their salad dressing, all available for purchase right there at Andreas.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The search may not be over in Iowa. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Those city officials are describing a no-win situation at the site of a partial building collapse in Davenport, where they had been planning demolition as soon as today.
5 people are unaccounted for, including 2 still possibly inside the 6-story apartment building that partially collapsed Sunday night.
This building is extremely volatile. This building does need to come down.
Davenport Assistant Fire Chief and Fire Marshal Jim Morris saying the building continues to shift amid pleas from loved ones for search and rescue and retrieval of pets.
Understand, it's not that we don't want to do this. It's the fact that we have to do it in a safe manner.
At least 9 people have been rescued from that building. Right now, it's too early to tell what caused the partial collapse.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter has dementia. The Carter Center just announcing it while also saying she's still living happily at home with her husband. Former President Jimmy Carter has been in hospice care since February. He's 98. Rosalind is 95. They've been married for 76 years. The man charged in the mass shooting at a Pittsburgh synagogue is standing trial.
The federal trial of Robert Bowers saw prosecutors tell a jury the defendant shot every worshiper he could in the 2018 attack on 3 congregations at the Tree of Life Synagogue. Bowers faces a possible sentence of death on 63 counts that include obstruction of free exercise of religion resulting in death and hate crimes. Assistant U.S. Attorney Sue Song says hateful words and broken bodies prove the defendant's malice in what remains the deadliest anti-Semitic act in American history.
Fox's Gernal Scott, 11 people were killed in the shooting. Former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes now in custody at a Texas prison to start serving an 11-year sentence for overseeing a blood testing hoax that she still denies. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
At Simply Safe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with Simply Safe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options, backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a warm Tuesday afternoon. Our high should peak out close to 88 degrees, partly to mostly sunny skies. Pretty quiet pattern. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a drop out of the 80s as we go through the evening. 65 for the low. Wednesday, partly sunny. Maybe a spot shower or thunder shower Wednesday afternoon, but very limited. The high on Wednesday, 89. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here because ideas change the world. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
You don't want to miss out on savings at Ruler Foods ever, but right now, here at the end of May, they've got some great savings for you. Get there today to save on your Heritage Farm boneless and skinless chicken breast. $1.99 a pound. Also, those fresh hamburger patties, or if you're more of a pork chop person, a lot of people love pork chops around here, of course, boneless pork chops, a pack of 10, or those fresh hamburger patties, pack of 10, $10. That's a huge savings. Seedless watermelon. We had some great watermelon out at our Memorial Day pool party yesterday. If you were looking for delicious watermelon at a great price, or Kroger packed corn, $2.97. And also Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Canada Dry Ginger Ale 12 packs, 4 for $15 when you buy 4. Saving at Ruler Foods is as simple as going to the store and shopping. You don't have to clip the coupons. You don't really have to go through and look at the flyers, although you can. They're at rulerfoods.com. But you go there and you save the money just by virtue of shopping, and you'll be shocked at some of the prices that you'll be able to use to save and lower your grocery bill. Find it online at rulerfoods.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
As part of my plan to secure the border on day one of my new term in office, I will sign an executive order making clear to federal agencies that under the correct interpretation of the law, going forward, the future children of illegal aliens will not receive automatic U.S. citizenship.
It's hard to look at what we are facing as a country right now and not prioritize the southern border as one of the key issues. It is not just about, oh, people are coming here who don't belong here. What else is coming here with them? What are people doing with a porous southern border to hurt our country? It's not just about the people. Do you know somebody who has come into contact with fentanyl? Have you experienced what it's like to know somebody and love somebody who's come into contact with fentanyl? Because it's getting closer and closer to home. If you haven't experienced it yet, it's hard for me to look at the situation and think that you're going to escape that in the end. And I'll tell you what, it's coming after kids. It's getting into the hands of children. And if it hasn't gotten into your inner circle yet, it will. The southern border is a massive problem for everybody involved in this country, and we have to be paying attention to it. Let's speak with Mark Krikorian. He's the executive director for the Center for Immigration Studies, and I always love the opportunity to speak with you, Mark. I want to ask you about the fentanyl specifically. I know people in my community who have been ravaged by the surprise presence of fentanyl. It's a real issue, and it's right here in St. Louis, Missouri. This is not something that's just happening on our southern border.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's happening all over the country. And look, some of it would be happening regardless of how tight our border is, because a lot of it does come through regular ports of entry, in other words, trucks and cars. Some of it does even get mailed in and all that. These are the objections that the folks and the anti-borders folks on the left make. And, you know, there's something to that. But the fact is that a lot of it does come between the ports of entry. In other words, the place the Border Patrol patrols. And what's happened under Biden is that because of his immigration policies, the Border Patrol is so overwhelmed. They're like, you know, the Lucy and the Chocolate Factory, you know, that from the old Lucy show, that they're not able to patrol the border properly. There are whole stretches of the border that depending on the time of day, nobody's there at all. And the cartels know that. In fact, the cartels manipulate, or let me put it this way, orchestrate the movement of, big groups of illegal aliens across the border, specifically to divert the Border Patrol's attention so that they can move their poison across in other places. Yeah. Now, it's not because the cartels are smuggling the aliens. The cartels make a lot of money off of alien smuggling, but what they do is they charge a tax from the smuggling gangs, and every part of the border is controlled by one or another cartel. So some of these cartels are actually making more money off of illegal immigration than off of drugs, fentanyl and all the rest of it, which is incredible. But what they do is they tell the alien smugglers, look, give us our tax, and you're going to cross with your group of 100, 200 people, whatever it is, here at this time of night, and don't ask any questions about what's happening 3 miles up the river. Wow. Because there's no Border Patrol agents there, and they're able to move their stuff across then. It's very bad, and the lefties that are saying that the border crisis is irrelevant to fentanyl don't know what they're talking about.
When you look at how fentanyl has permeated the entire country, and you see how dramatically lethal fentanyl is it? I gotta assume that these evildoers who are creating a very high-level operation to move all of this into our country, it's just about money, and they don't really care what ends up happening. Is it just about money? Is that the simple answer to this? Or are they trying to kill off Americans?
No, I don't know. I mean, one of these monsters, but I think it's money. That's honestly what it is. In other words, I don't think anybody's planning, okay, let's kill off, despairing ordinary Americans. All of that stuff is true. I just don't think that the cartels could, care less about that stuff. It's all just money and power to them, and not power over the United States, but money and guns and their ability to do what they want, in Mexico and not be interfered with. So, yeah, I think it's conventional criminality that is driving this. But again, the Biden administration policy is making it easier for these scum to import their poison. Some of it's going to get in no matter what we do, but that's like saying, you shouldn't lock your car because somebody could steal it no matter what you do. You lock your car anyway because it makes it that much safer. We need to lock down our border because it's going to mean that much less of this kind of poison getting in.
We're speaking with the executive director for Center for Immigration Studies, Mark Krikorian. Mark, compare to me the organization and the aptitude of these cartels and how they have used the current state of our system against us. Compare that to the organization and the aptitude of the Biden administration's response to our southern border.
Yeah, I mean, it's Keystone Cops versus, the mafia or something. I mean, it would be comical, except the consequences are so serious. And, there's plenty of committed professional law enforcement people in Homeland Security and Border Patrol and ICE and all the rest of it, as well as DEA and the rest. But, the fish rots from the head down. And the fact is that this administration and kind of the political movement that it's part of, and so this would include things like Soros DAs in cities and these anti-police measures. It's all kind of part of the same thing. The defunding the police, if you will, at the border means not having much of a border. It's part of the same perspective, and it has the similar kinds of deadly and harmful results for ordinary Americans.
We are 525 days away from a presidential election. We're starting to hear plans from candidates that want the Republican nomination. I think we know what the Biden plan is. You're looking at it. We're suffering through it. How much does whomever that person is who wins in November of 2024, they get into office in the third week of January, how dramatically can the person who wins that spot affect what's going on our southern border?
Oh, they can affect it dramatically. Look at how dramatically Biden has affected it. But the fact is, it's going to be tough. It's doable, but it's going to take time. You're not going to be able to shut it down overnight, because when you start a flow like this, it has a certain momentum. It's much harder to stop than it is to start, because the pressure is always for more people to try to get into the United States. Look, there's 7 billion people in the world, and Gallup has done surveys in foreign countries of this kind of thing, and they estimate 10 to 15% of the world's population would move to a developed country if they could. And if the United States is the one that's advertising that you can get in and get let go, you're going to have those people coming here. And so, in other words, the pressure is always there. And so you need to keep the pressure consistent to limit how many of those people and just generally anything contraband gets across the border. So it's easy to kind of lift our efforts and boom, people start pouring in. Shutting that off is completely doable, but it's going to take work, and so I would not expect that on January 21st, assuming the Biden people are thrown out, that it's all going to change overnight. But it will change, and it can change pretty quickly, but, it's going to take some effort and consistent effort and time. And there's going to be real obstacles, because the other side is going to sue to try to stop everything a president, say Trump or DeSantis or whoever, tries to do. But they can do it. It's possible. And, knock on wood.
Absolutely necessary. The resolve is going to have to be fortified. Mark Krikorian with us now. I want to ask you one other question. I think it's really simple to have the conversation, especially on conservative talk radio, where it often comes with, we're just importing Democrat voters, and it becomes all about politics, as if if the right guy got in office, all the problems would be solved. You're articulating here very well for us that it's not that simple. It's going to be very difficult, actually. I think that the fentanyl crisis has only begun in our country, and I think it's not really as focused on in these types of conversations as it should be. But I also think that the human trafficking and the child sex trafficking that goes on with this open border is another issue. And I think it's something that people don't really grasp, because it's not something that in your, I'll say here, normal Midwestern life, I would assume anywhere in the country, you don't really understand what human trafficking is. Can you tell us how human trafficking and child trafficking fits in? How's the process work, and how are they using our system against us?
Well, sure. Trafficking is different from smuggling. Smuggling is where you're the illegal alien and you're part of the deal. You pay, and it's a business transaction, and they deliver you across the border and you get what you paid for. Trafficking is where you're, kidnapped or somehow tricked, or maybe you thought you were being smuggled, and then they kidnap you when you're on the other side of the border. There's all kinds of nasty stuff. And they, smuggling and trafficking kind of blur the difference does, but they are somewhat different things. But if you've got massive crossings across the border incentivized by this administration, a lot of those people are just going to be regular people who aren't being trafficked. They get what they paid for. They're delivered to Chicago, and they go and work in washing dishes. But when you have that volume of people, you got all kinds of people who end up being trafficked. The New York Times, a few weeks ago now, maybe a month ago, did a whole series of stories, and, more power to them, even though it's New York Times, on how minors, children, most of them teenagers, but some of them even younger than that, were coming across the border, sometimes sent by their parents, incentivized by Biden administration policies, but ended up being delivered to people who were using them for basically slave labor. 13-year-olds working in factories and stuff. I mean, this is stuff out of Charles Dickens from the 19th century, and yet the Biden policies have enabled this. And you've got all kinds of, you get white slavery, they used to call it in the old days, sex trafficking, that kind of thing, All of this is more difficult to fight when you have an administration that's opening up the border and letting all of these people in. It's the same thing in local policing. If you don't have consistent rules, you don't let people jump the subway turnstiles, you don't let people urinate in public, all that stuff. If you relax those rules, all the other rules people stop paying attention to too. And that's the kind of thing you're seeing at the border.
Well, Mark Krikorian, I think there are so many layers to this crisis, true crisis we have on the southern border. And I know the Center for Immigration Studies is always on top of it. Thank you for your time today. We're grateful for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mark Krikorian, Executive Director for Center for Immigration Studies, CIS.org, if you want to check out the website and learn a little bit more about what they're doing there. It's horrifying to me. Fentanyl, as I was saying at the beginning of this, I don't know if fentanyl has reached into your life. God forbid it ever does. But it is horrific. It is absolutely horrific. And they think about the trafficking of humans. I like how he distinguished the difference between smuggling and trafficking, because I think that I probably understood that intellectually, but never really had considered the difference between, hey, get me into the country, I'll climb into the back of your semi and stuff myself in there with, 60 other people. And then they do that, they dump you off and you got in the country, versus you get into the country and then when they're there and you're delivered, now you belong to somebody else for God knows what. It's horrific. And the policies of the people who are in charge now, or the people who have ever been charged, whoever have been put in charge to handle what is taking place of our southern border, Republican or Democrat, if those policies are encouraging this behavior, Lord have mercy on us all. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show when we come back. There's lots to talk about. I did take a quick little weekend with my husband. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. We'll get Ryan back in here as well. May connect with Steve Moore when we return. Not 100% sure yet if that's going to happen, but we hope it does. Lots to discuss, and I am so grateful that you're here with us on a Memorial Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll today. Do you know with certainty who you will vote for in the 2024 presidential primary? Yes or no? On the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Back with more in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Stewart's American Mortgage, 314-324-4440. You reach out to Stewie and you say, hey, I need help buying my house. I want to win the bid. I want to be the most aggressive offer without having to empty the bank account. Well, the Bagel Loan and Stewie, that's the right place to go. Stewie is my friend, and he's a really great sponsor of this show, but he is the best when it comes to helping you secure your mortgage for the home that you're looking to buy or a refinance. A lot of people doing news stories and stuff right now about mortgage rates, but hey, if you're looking to buy a house, you need to get a mortgage. Unless you're like totally not like me, you're going to need to have a mortgage. It's probably going to take 30 years to pay off, and you want the best deal you can right now. Stewie is your guy. When you call or text 314-324-4440 and you say, tell me about the Bagel Loan, and he keeps going on and on about the Bagel Loan with Stewie, how does it help me? He's going to explain to you how the Bagel Loan has no closing costs. Think about that for a second. When you're putting that offer in, it's accepted, and you're going through the process of closing the deal, no closing costs will save you thousands of dollars, but you only get it from Stewie and the Bagel Loan at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan. NMLS number 226715.
We expect our information in real time. U.S. Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. U.S. Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 800-730-8405 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check. As easy as, that's 800-730-8405.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning. This is a message for all St. Louis Metro homeowners. If you want to sell your house,
but only the thought of it gives you a headache? Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis has great news for you. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can help you avoid any headache and will buy your house for cash in as-is condition, and you won't even have to do any repairs, cleaning, or paying any fees. Just call 314-782-8000 for a fast and easy solution and sell your house today. Chris buys all kinds of houses, inherited houses, vacant houses, fixer-uppers, and also beautiful houses. All you need to do is call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis at 314-782-8000 and let Chris take care of everything for you. Call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, 314-782-8000 and get the peace of mind you deserve.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Do you know with certainty who you will vote for in the 2024 presidential primary? Let us know on our Annie Frey Show YouTube poll. The time is 1:27. This update is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Brad Young, our legal expert. This Clean Water Act. Let's talk about what happened here.
Really, at the base, this is like the poster child of over-regulation.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes, listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king's dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key, next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you've gone, it was never an honest word. And that was when I ruled the world.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. It's Tuesday. Helpful reminder, it's not Monday for everybody who continues to get confused about all of the dates on a short week. I always feel like short weeks always turn out feeling like longer weeks.
Feels like a Wednesday to me.
It does?
I don't. It just doesn't feel right. Something is wrong.
Let's listen to Chuck Schumer here on these
Now,
cuts.
McCarthy says he wants to attach certain spending cuts to do this. He will not even say what he wants to cut, and I'll tell you why. He can't pass a plan with cuts. His hard right will demand the kind of deepest cuts that his more mainstream Republicans won't vote for. We're going to win this fight, and it's going to be a clean debt ceiling.
Well, Chuck Schumer thinks he's got it figured out. Steve Moore here. I can't wait to hear what Steve has to say about what's going on in this debt ceiling negotiation bill. The expert economist with the Heritage Foundation. Steve, thanks for coming on with us. Welcome back.
Monday, but it's actually Tuesday. I'm just so discombobulated today. I mean, people say, "Can you have lunch tomorrow?" Oh yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. Right now, tomorrow's Wednesday. Crazy.
It's hard to get it all straight. And especially if I took Thursday and Friday off and went on a weekend trip to Ohio, and
I know.
Coming back and trying to get caught up with everything. And I see that the president and Kevin McCarthy seem to have a deal. The people in the right of the House Republicans are not sold on it yet. Chuck Schumer says if it has cuts, they can't get it passed. Where do you think this debt ceiling bill sits right now?
Well, boy, this is complicated. So, first of all, I mean, we've got a financial crisis in this country, and it's this massive debt and the uncontrolled spending that really started during COVID under Trump, but then accelerated dramatically under Biden, with trillions and trillions of dollars of spent. And I want to say at the outset, because I've been getting a lot of grief from a lot of my friends, my conservative friends, because I generally would support this bill, although I'm certainly not going to say it's something, fantastic. But I do like what Rand Paul has been saying for the last several months, which is why don't we just go back to the pre-COVID level of spending, in 2019. Do you know, Annie, if we did that, if we just went back to the spending amount of money in Washington that we were spending back in 2019, we'd have a balanced budget.
Ugh. That's not very long ago. It's not. You're not telling me to go back to like 1986 spending levels here.
Exactly. And I'm saying, so we spent, I don't know, $6 or $7 trillion on COVID. And what I'm saying is, okay, that emergency is over. It's time to revert back to the spending we had before. By the way, this is what we did after the Civil War. This is what we did after the Great Depression, after the, World War II. Once the crisis was over, you go back, you don't build in these permanent spending increases. And so that's what I'd like to see. Instead, they've got, look, I will give a nod to Kevin McCarthy. I think he was dealt a tough hand here because Republicans only have 222, people in the House out of 435, so they have about a 3 or 4 seat majority, and he was able to get a really good bill passed through the House, and that forced I'm glad you played that little tape of Schumer, because both Schumer and Biden 4 or 6 weeks ago were saying we'll never negotiate on this, and they were forced to. And I think Republicans got some concessions, but not nearly as many as I'd like to see. And so I think conservatives probably will vote against this. You'll get some of the moderate Republicans, and then the Democrats are going to have Biden's going to have to come up with the votes if he wants to pass this. I mean, after all, it was Joe Biden who ran up the debt by $6 trillion. So without any Republican votes, why should Republicans then turn around and vote to raise the debt ceiling?
Yeah,
they're the ones who, what's the old saying? You broke it, you have to fix it.
Steve Moore with us right now at the Heritage Foundation, chief economist there. I look at the negotiations that go back and forth, and I don't know if it was National Review. I think it was National Review wrote an article, and it said something like, if you want a better deal, you need more Republicans. It is important for people. Been my line. Yeah, people.
Let me say that a little differently.
Sure.
You want a better deal. You want more sensible, financially sensible, policies in Washington. We need a new president, and that's the problem. I mean, Joe Biden is the most financially irresponsible president in my lifetime, maybe ever. And this is probably the best Republicans probably could have gotten from Biden. So, am I gonna dance a little jig here and say this is a wonderful thing? No, I'm not. It's not enough. And I know people. I've gotten so much angry, letters and emails and texts from friends because I say, well, probably this is going to have to pass because this is probably the best we can do. And people say, oh, you're surrendering to Biden. But this is just the reality. And I do think this sets up Republicans pretty well for 2024. They can say, look, we had to vote for this debt ceiling. We didn't like it. We held our nose. We made some reforms. Now, there are a couple of things that didn't happen that I'm kind of angry about. Number one, they did not really make much of a cut in the IRS, the 87,000 agents.
Wow. That was a big deal. That was one of the priorities. What do they need all those IRS agents for?
Exactly. To go after people like me and you and the people listening to the show. If you have a conservative, point of view, then they're going to come after you. They're going to weaponize it, just like they've weaponized the State Department, the Justice Department, the FBI, and the IRS previously. So I'm angry that McCarthy didn't get a better deal on that. The work requirements for welfare, and I have a piece in the Wall Street Journal about this today. They're important, but they're kind of watered down. Now, here's the thing, Annie. Do you know how many hours a week you have to work under this new requirement?
I'm guessing, is it 20? I think
20.
20.
I don't know about you. I'm working a lot more than 20 hours a week. I bet most of the people listening to the show are working a lot more than 20. What kind of work requirement is that?
Yeah.
Part-time?
Yeah.
Most of us aren't in part-time jobs. We're in full-time jobs to raise a family. And then it only applies to certain programs, and it doesn't apply to single mothers. It should, because, the best thing is get people back into the workforce. So anyway, I'm a little frustrated, but it is what it is. We've got, Republicans only have 1/3 of the branches of government right now. So you're going to have to change things dramatically if you want different results.
Last question before we let you go. We're speaking with Steve Moore, who's author of the book Govzilla, How the Relentless Growth of Government is Devouring Our Economy and Our Freedom. See this conversation here. When I look at what the left and President Biden continues to push, green energy, climate change is always at the forefront. And I'm asking you right now, Steve Moore, is it at the expense of the American people?
What is what?
The prioritization of green energy. Are they more concerned with the successful green energy programs they have than the success of the American people?
Of course they are. Yeah, I mean, they're spending hundreds of billions of dollars a year on these green energy projects, most of which are going to fail. And so this is now one little bit of good news is that we did get some more drilling, permitting, and things like that Biden hates in this bill. And so that's a little bit of a silver lining here. But my gosh, I mean, we have more oil, gas, coal than any other country in the world. We could be totally energy independent and dominant if we just went back to the Trump policies. And instead, Biden's building windmills.
and campaigning off of it from his basement. Well, Steve, we appreciate you. This conversation, the debt ceiling negotiation, we'll see if it wraps up by the next time we get to talk. But great insight from you, as always. We're grateful for you.
Okay. Yeah, have a great weekend. Take care.
You as well. Steve Moore, the chief economist at the Heritage Foundation and author of the book Govzilla. Go check it out. And his latest piece in the Wall Street Journal. Kevin McCarthy is a very controversial figure in the Republican Party. You don't get to be the Speaker of the House and have to represent a pretty broad political party without being controversial in some way, shape, or form. So I think that goes with the territory. You have to have broad shoulders in order to do that. Ryan, I do appreciate what Steve Moore is saying here, which is, I don't love this deal, but it might be the deal that we get. And saying, use this as the way to say, listen, this is the best we could do with what we have. We need more from you voters. If you're dissatisfied with this, we need more from you. I think that people in my space right now can, shake their fists at the sky and disparage all the rhinos in Congress. And sometimes that's detached from the reality of you want to get Chuck Schumer to cave? That he's not going to cave.
Right. I think we're in a situation where you do have to take some losses. I mean, you don't own the whole government here. You don't have a Republican majority in the Senate or the White House. So you're going to have to compromise somewhere. It's just that I think those people, the same people who were not voting for McCarthy for Speaker, are probably going to be the ones that stand up against this and maybe get, even if it's not everything, just a few more of those priorities before they get it across the finish line. I think that's where I am, is I'm saying, well, you have something worked out here, and if you can get it a little closer to the end goal, then I think you could maybe say you got to win.
Yeah, the spending cuts are key and important, and there are people who will say in politics, if everybody's crabbing, then you probably got yourself a good compromise. I listen to the criticisms that come out of this, and I implore you to listen to people. If you're trying to gauge where you feel like you are on this, when you're listening to people criticize what's going on, make sure they're using points about the actual issue at hand. If it's just an attack, and I'm neither here nor there on Kevin McCarthy. I think that it's unrealistic to think that like a Matt Gaetz or a former Liz Cheney is going to be the speaker. You need somebody who's able to touch all ends of the party. That's an incredibly difficult thing to do. And in the speakership vote, I heard so many people who I'm connected to, who are connected to the inner workings of that, say that you have to step over so many people to get up to, anybody does, to get to the speakership. Yeah. It is a nasty game. You have to make promises to people to get there. And once you get there, you do have to represent the party, not just a part of the party. And yeah, voters did not send a mandate of conservatism to the House. They did take the gavel from Nancy Pelosi, but voters did not show up en masse the way they were expected to. And the Republicans have to figure out why that is. And there are people listening right now who say, oh, it's because they compromise on stuff like this. Well, maybe you don't get a debt ceiling bill. Maybe we go until the next election and we just fall apart at the seams based on what it means to not have a debt ceiling elevation. Or maybe they compromise and they use it as a plan to get more seats in 2024. I want to see a plan. I'm not allergic to compromise, but compromise to me is always a stepping stone. It's not the end game. Compromise is for right now, but there has to be a plan for in the future. And if you say, listen, if we have 15 more votes in the House, if we had one more senator in the Senate, massive difference. Voters, you need to show up. You need to get good candidates in the primary, which is what I want to talk about when we come back. You need to put people in those primaries, pick the person out of the primary that can win in the general. Doesn't matter how big you win in the primary if you can't win in the general. So let's talk about that when we come back. Hannah, you want to read the YouTube live chat poll since I turned my camera around and it's now facing you?
I just noticed that.
Yeah,
Today's YouTube live chat poll is asking, do you know with certainty who you will vote for in the 2024 presidential primary? Yes or no?
Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote and give us comments as to why you voted the way you did. Hannah's got several of those starred already. Maybe you can give us a heads up on what people have said so far, Hannah. Just a little taste of what you guys are thinking. We just want to know how confident you are. We'll answer that question here in the studio as well when we return. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance, the go-to for confidence in selling your home on the Illinois side of the river. And if you're looking to buy a home on the Illinois side of the river, I'm telling you what, right now, she is going to be an ace when it comes to finding you the dream home that you've been looking for. It is still a volatile market, and I know that house prices are up high, and you want to make sure that if you're getting a house that you're paying what it's worth and not more. She's going to help you negotiate all of that. If you're looking to sell your house, you're going to want to make sure you get every dollar that your home is worth. Jen Teskey, RE/MAX Alliance, and the power of the Jen Teskey team, which is mighty, is there to help walk you through this whole process with ease and relaxation. You will love working with her team. They're incredibly fun. I encourage you to go to Facebook and connect with them on Facebook and just kind of see what they're about. They know what they're doing. They're experts. They have years and decades of experience, and they're ready to help you. You can call or text Jen Teskey at 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010, online at jenteskeyhomes.com.
The wait is over. Golden Oak Lending announces that we have dropped our mortgage rates to the lowest they've been all year.
If you've thought about purchasing a home or getting cash out to wipe out debt, you can now benefit from Golden Oak's low 5.25% rate.
Credit card rates are at an all-time high. Don't pay over 25% in interest.
Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 5.25% fixed, 5.928% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pills or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now, and your initial consultation and first treatment with our physicians are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. When planning your summer vacation, pick a destination close to where you live to limit your use of fuel. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Fact-checking the mainstream media daily.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You found it here. 97.1 FM Talk.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh,
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I do not know what's happening in this studio right now. Nobody does.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay because nobody does. So it's not as if you're out of the loop.
How many, just guess right now, how many problems do we currently have? Just unfortunate occurrences or modifications that we've had to do today?
I can count 3 right as in my periphery.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably more than that.
You should watch us on the YouTube today because we keep just going...
I'm at the state of panic right now where I feel just calm. There's so many fires burning around me that I just feel calm, which is scary.
That cartoon. I don't know what the cartoon is for, but it's a very famous GIF. The guy's like sitting drinking coffee with a
it's a little dog. Yeah,
and there's just flames burning around.
Yeah, like his eyes are all cockeyed. He's just sitting there drinking coffee. This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. This is totally fine. I mean, honestly, I'll be honest. It really is fine.
I remember when I got hired, our boss Steve told me, he's like, things could be absolutely a wreck. All that matters is that you're on air.
Did he tell you not to tell the audience that everything's a wreck?
Don't tell people.
I remember the first thing he told me, which is not what we're doing right now. It's okay. I have heard in the course of the 2006, 16, 18 years-ish that I've been doing radio, some people who I used to work with would always say, if we make a mistake, nobody dies. Because like there are people who have bad days and the stakes are very high. Mm-hmm. That's not what we do. That doesn't mean that you go willy-nilly, but just keep it into perspective that if things get out of control, you just bring it back in. And we're doing great. It's been a great show. We had Kevin Killeen at the start of the show, and he was talking to us about Gabe Gore. And here's Laura Simon from Fox 2, who was talking about this.
Gore lives, works, and raised his family here in the city of St. Louis, and those are some reasons why Governor Parson says he appointed the former federal prosecutor. Gore was most recently a partner at the law firm Dowd Bennett and worked there for more than a decade, according to Gore's LinkedIn page. 18 candidates applied for the St. Louis Circuit Attorney job, and the governor narrowed it down to 3 finalists before his announcement of Gore on May 19th. The governor says Gore was not a political pick here, and it is important to mention to our viewers this morning this appointment is only temporary. That's because voters are going to have the final say on St. Louis's Circuit Attorney in 2024.
So it will go back to a vote for the circuit attorney, and who knows what will happen then. I didn't know that this was going to happen this fast. This was like brand new information to me this morning. I've been gone. Wednesday was my last day on air. Did this sneak up on you?
Yeah, completely. As of this morning. I mean, just finding out today that this had happened. Because even the finalist thing was new to me. I didn't know any of that was happening. So finding out that there was a pick, I was, okay.
Did you hear Kevin Killeen with us at the start of the show? Really interesting stuff. And I'd encourage you to rewind on the Odyssey app to listen to him. He's on about 12:10 if you want to. Get on the Odyssey app, follow 97.1 FM Talkin', rewind to about 12:10, and listen to Kevin Killeen, KMOX reporter, talking to us about Gabe Gore and what it might mean for the city. It actually made me kind of hopeful for at least now until the election in 2024.
Yeah, that's the big question, is not knowing almost anything about this guy. Is he a pick that's intended to be running again in 24, or is he just kind of an interim stopgap who will prosecute crime?
What an interview process, though, for the city of St. Louis to see how much of a dramatic difference this guy can make between now and the election. If he has something to show for himself, I mean, it is potentially exponentially massive for the city of St. Louis. Should we start actually prosecuting crime once again?
Don't you wish we could have somebody who was completely apolitical and just all they did was just, there's crime, I'm going to take that to the court? I mean, that's it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's it. You don't have
That's all we want.
You don't have to get involved in. I mean, it's almost like you have to get involved in the community to even win. So I almost hope he does do that if he's good at his job. But you wish that they didn't have to do all that.
Kim Gardner got reelected with 70-something% of the vote. And I'm very confident that if Kim Gardner ran next year, which I don't know that I don't know if she signed the thing that the AG, Andrew Bailey, was telling her to sign, but I do believe if she ran again, she'd win.
Oh.
I mean, just by margin, 70% would be hard to whittle down to less than 50.
People don't show up to vote for these things.
But
those people would be motivated to show up.
I don't know. It seems like even local news has turned on her. You know, you watch some of the channels and it's like they're talking about crime. I just don't know.
Are there enough people who are motivated enough to show up to vote for that race over the people who would want to see her rise again?
Maybe.
I don't. The fact that it is possible that she, in theory, could run again and win. This is where Gabe Gore, you've got a window of time to show St. Louis it doesn't have to be this way. Hit a grand slam. I mean, the impact on the city. I don't even think we understand the massive impact on the city, because I don't actually think we understand in full how bad it has actually been here. And through the Kim Gardner legal proceedings, we've learned how bad it actually is. And that's just what we know. Imagine being the fly on the wall of inside the circuit attorney office knowing what they know. I'm looking forward to the change. And hopefully, say your prayers. It'll bless the city. It'll bless people who come here and help the city grow. The YouTube live chat poll today and the Annie Frey YouTube channel in the live chat portion. Do you know with certainty who you will vote for in the 2024 presidential primary? Yes or no? Hannah?
No, I don't.
Really?
No, I know it's surprising.
That is surprising.
I really, really like DeSantis. I've always been a huge fan of him, but the election's still pretty far away from me.
Hannah the Fana of him.
Of DeSantis.
Something could come out or a new... I don't know. I don't want to put my foot down just yet.
You're just not ready to say, absolutely, there's nothing that could come in the way, come between me and Ron DeSantis.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I really
It's funny because she literally was wearing a Ron DeSantis shirt the other day.
Yeah.
And was like, no, I don't know.
I am a huge fan, but I just...
You're just,
I'm not ready to commit yet.
Is there anything that could come between you and your boy, Donald Trump?
Is that who you want?
Yeah,
I'm still confused.
My answer to the question, do you know with certainty who you will vote for in the 2024 presidential primary, is no.
It better be a no, because you always change your mind.
I do not. I've gotten that reputation because of you, I think.
No, you have that reputation because it's what you do.
No, it's not true. It's
Check
just
the
that
tapes.
I'm on that line and I lean. And right now I still am leaning Trump, but it's just a lean. It's not that I've planted my feet.
Hedger.
Well, you didn't call Hannah that.
She's not a hedger.
She
I
is
literally
hedging.
texted her from the Chris Stapleton concert in Columbus, Ohio. I was on the 50-yard line of Ohio Stadium. And we were sitting next to this girl. That's what I texted you about.
Oh, boy.
And I'm sitting next to my husband, and I'm like, this is a lot of people. I'm not really like this much of a people person, like to be in the midst of them. And I had a brilliant idea for the show, and it has to do with Hannah.
I don't even know what this is.
No, and Ron DeSantis. Hannah, stay tuned. I'm going to
boy.
tell you on the air when we come back.
Ron DeSantis is going to tell you on the air. Guess what?
Yes, and he's
gonna be
here.
there.
Ron DeSantis in the studio. Oh, his camera doesn't work, but he's standing right
Oh,
there.
what a
We'll
day.
be back. You go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. I'm a no on this poll as well, but I want to know what you are. Give us a vote. Give us a comment. Back in a minute. Don't go away.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. I'm so proud that we've helped over 15,000 businesses claim over $5 billion in cash incentives. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. Every client is assigned a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to accurately determine eligibility. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and your business might be entitled to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Businesses of all types can qualify, including medical, professional, construction, even nonprofits. Please don't miss out on this. Even your doctor would tell you to get an expert second opinion, and we do a lot of work for doctors. Download the Innovation Refunds app now or go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of $26,000 per employee. GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
CAJonesInc.com. Building a home on the Illinois side of the river has never been simpler, with great people who are reinvesting in the communities that they are building in. That's C.A. Jones. Customizing a home build is so simple when you partner with C.A. Jones. And if you go online to CAJonesInc.com, you're going to see homes that they have right now, new construction homes available for purchase. If you're looking at the market and you haven't seen the home that fits what you're looking for, give CAJonesInc.com a look-see, because maybe your next home that is brand new to you and to everybody is right there on that website. Energy Star certified home builder offering the top energy efficient homes in the Metro East. This is going to save you thousands of dollars annually. They care about these things, and they care about the people in the homes that they build and the communities that they live in. Improving lives through quality homes and community involvement. That's what they say at C.A. Jones. And when you partner with them, you'll quickly see why so many people choose C.A. Jones. CAJonesinc.com.
Diamonds Direct takes our most popular offer ever up to the next level. Now, for a limited time, you can make any purchase and take advantage of special financing for up to 5 years, or get $5,000 off. Get the lowest possible monthly payment, or get a generous cash credit. It's all about giving you more. Design the ring of your dreams with our most flexible finance options and best savings ever offered. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com. On approved credit.
The Gateway Warrior Foundation helps vets in recovery and their return to civilian life. This is Mark Cox. The Gateway Warrior Foundation funds that mission to help vets by holding a golf tournament. Join me for their 14th annual Gateway Warrior Golf Classic. Play, volunteer, or sponsor a hole October 9th. We're proud to support the Gateway Warrior Foundation as they help vets in need. Through Conservatives Care, 97.1 FM Talk is helping make our community a better place. Visit 971talk.com/care to learn more.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A tough sell on Capitol Hill. Lisa Brady, Fox News. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says it should be easy for Republicans to support the bipartisan deal to raise the debt ceiling and limit spending.
I'm not sure what in the bill people are concerned about. It is the largest savings of $2.1 trillion we've ever had.
But he's facing strong pushback from conservatives, including Texas Congressman Chip Roy, who think it doesn't do enough to address spending while it suspends the debt ceiling until after the next presidential election, January of 2025.
Not one Republican should vote for this deal. It is a bad deal.
It's not clear how many Democrats will support the plan either.
House Democrats will make sure that the country does not default.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries trying to address pushback from progressives. The Biden administration is backing the agreement to avoid a possible default. The plan's first test is in the House Rules Committee, which meets at this hour. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter has dementia. A statement from the Carter Center confirming it, adding that she's happy still living at home with former President Jimmy Carter.
Mrs. Carter spent much of her public career advocating for those suffering from mental illnesses, as well as family and friends called upon to be their caregivers, founding an institute dedicated to that cause. Earlier this year, President Carter announced he was opting for at-home hospice care instead of treatment for ongoing medical conditions.
Fox's Eben Brown. More people unaccounted for in the partial collapse of an apartment building Sunday in Iowa.
Based on the consolidated information at this time, as the mayor said, we have 5 that are unaccounted for. And 2 that we have a firm belief that are potentially still in that building.
The Davenport Police Chief Jeff Bladell, as officials face protests over plans for a quick demolition. Fire officials warning the building remains unstable. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
At SimpliSafe, we know during a break-in, every second counts. So our home security system is powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who use Fast Protect technology, only from SimpliSafe, to capture video evidence and verify a threat for fast police response. Now, install SimpliSafe your way. Do it yourself or have an expert set it up for you with new Pro Install. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a warm Tuesday afternoon. Our high should peak out close to 88 degrees, partly to mostly sunny skies. Pretty quiet pattern. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a drop out of the 80s as we go through the evening. 65 for the low. Wednesday, partly sunny. Maybe a spot shower or thunder shower Wednesday afternoon, but very limited. The high on Wednesday, 89. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Let's talk about Air Comfort Service and your air conditioner. How is it performing? It has been warm here lately. You've probably been running the AC, and if it's not working the way that it's supposed to be, you need to call Air Comfort Service out to your home to have them check on the unit to make sure that it is running properly. You're paying for it to run. You want to make sure that it is actually functioning the way that it is supposed to. Air Comfort Service is reliable. They are honest, and they are there to make sure that your needs are met and that your budget is attended to. That's why they are always working hard to provide you with incentives, like through the end of June, you can save up to $15.50 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates on qualifying systems. They'll work with you. They'll talk to you. They'll make sure that they pinpoint what the actual issue is that you're dealing with. Maybe your insulation in your house is not sufficient and your air conditioner is working just fine. Don't let someone come in and sell you an air conditioner and put it in, and then you find out that the insulation still doesn't work. And that needs to be addressed as well. Air Comfort Service has been to my home. They've replaced my air conditioner, my furnace, my water heater. They've done an AeroSeal duct sealing in my home and made the air flow through my house evenly among the different floors that we have. You can trust them. I certainly trust them as well. Call them and schedule an appointment today or discuss your issue with them at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. aircomfortservice.com.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts, my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
The voice for hardworking, free-thinking Americans.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Just a friendly reminder, it's Tuesday, not Monday. Might feel like a Monday, but it is in fact a Tuesday, which means we're that much closer to Saturday. Most people would think I would say Friday there, but you're a liar if you say Friday's the best day. Saturday's the best day.
You are factually correct.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, it's Friday, yay. No, you mean it's almost Saturday.
No. Hang on. Now, before we move past this issue, it's really about Friday afternoon.
No.
So it really is about being Friday.
It's about when you're off work on Friday.
Yeah, which is
that's
Friday at 5.
The point in the week that you have the longest amount of time
before work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it still is technically about Friday.
Wouldn't you rather, if you had to spend the rest of your life, wouldn't you rather it always be Saturday than always be Friday afternoon?
Sure.
If
it's Groundhog Day, then yes.
Saturday.
But typically, I'm still looking forward to Friday evening more than I am Saturday.
No, you're looking more forward to Saturday, but you are afraid of the Sunday scaries, which is a term that I learned on this show.
No, I really am looking forward to that extra evening of joy and bliss.
You're doing that voice again.
Yeah, it's his BS voice. Isn't it?
No.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
You have got to be the worst poker player.
I am a terrible poker player.
I'm not shocked.
I'm so bad that I don't play it. I don't even try.
I'll play poker with you.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Everybody would love to play poker with me.
Yeah.
They'd be like, yes, I do have a full house. Got him.
Can you lie?
Not really.
I don't think
I'm really bad at it.
You have ruined nearly every surprise we've ever tried to pull on this show.
That's not even a lie.
No, it's not.
That's just pure incompetence.
I'm going to get a mad message from someone for calling you incompetent now, which I did not do.
You agreed.
I didn't even agree. I might have chuckled.
You
at
might
the ironic truth.
That is fine. Like, I just want to let people know, if they're listening, it is fine if you write Annie and you say, please stop picking on Wiggins. He doesn't deserve it. He's a lovable little guy. And not even little. He's a huge guy.
Super gross.
Super tall.
Reaching the heights of 5'6".
No.
In platforms.
5'10".
You're
right.
You're not 5'10".
Close. Close to
You're
5'10".
not 5'10".
No, you're not.
I'm close to 5'10". 5'9.5" is my official where I clock in before my big fights.
What fights?
You know, I mean, before a big fight, the regimen.
With your wife?
No.
Oh,
no.
man.
We're talking about UFC fights.
Your wife, who's 6'3"?
No, she would take offense at that. She said, "No, I'm not." No, when
she's
before
6'4", but she tries to make it shorter since
before
you're
a big
5'6".
argument about which day is more important, Saturday or Friday or whatever. You got to spend like a good 24 hours just sweating it out. You go into saunas and stuff. You get your weight down.
What are you talking about?
So that when you come into the fight, you're ready to go. A wrestler is going to know that.
Did
and
you
they're
do
going to
drugs
think that
this
was
weekend?
funny. It was a long weekend. I thought, and just like we were talking about,
totally wear off by noon.
Friday
on
night, I could get away with it because Tuesday it'll be gone. And clearly it is. I make perfect sense.
Amy's suggesting Wiggy v. Tyrus, and I think that'd be a great charity event.
Yeah, I'd probably do that, but not for charity.
Just elevate your weight for when you wrestle him, and it should be fine.
No, I think it's just like golf or bowling. You get a handicap when you go in against the Tyrus.
I think you would be.
So I think I'd try to be.
I think you'll get
I'd try to weigh down so that I could get a bigger handicap. Okay, just so you know, I am in for that though, but not for charity. Tyrus can donate his half. I can keep mine.
Which, you mean like the money or just like your body?
I don't the money, specifically the money. Whenever I use my body to make money, I want to keep that money.
Stop it. We cannot go off the rails today, seriously.
You're the one that's done it more than anybody.
We are not on the rails. We don't even know where the rails are located at this point in time.
We're trying and things are just failing. That aren't even our control anymore.
If you walked into the studio and you know how the studio is normally set up and you walked in right now, they'd be like, oh, they're having a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, things just look weird.
Our tech guy just left.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this is bad.
You know what? He stuck around for quite a while, though. I got to give it to him. He gave it the old college try.
More than the college try.
Yeah.
The degreed try.
Yeah. Yes.
And then he was like, eh.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm going to have to go.
You guys are toast.
Yeah.
Somebody on the weekend did something. It's always those weekenders.
We're still trying to find out who.
And we don't even know who's here. And as somebody who used to be on the weekend, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, me too. I used to be that weekend girl, so I get it, but...
I'm texting some very, very nasty words to Heidi Harris, though, just in case it was her.
Yeah, it was definitely Heidi.
I'm not sure.
From Vegas.
But I'm going to blame her because
Wiggins
it can't blame me. Yeah, I'm not going to blame myself.
The YouTube live chat poll, do you know with certainty who you will vote for in the 2024 presidential primary, yes or no? We all said no. I haven't looked at the results yet. I'm not going to look at them yet. Hannah, can you maybe highlight a couple, just give us 2 or 3 comments from people who have joined us on the YouTube live right now and commented their thoughts on today's YouTube live chat poll.
Mark Reed said that he voted no on the poll. I'm taking the primary as a time to actually learn about the candidates. I'm voting with my conscience, not the masses. So
or the butts.
If no one stands out, I'm leaving blank. So
masses are the...
He's not voting with certainty right now.
Yeah.
Ikta says that she or they voted yes in the poll. I'm 100% going for DeSantis in the 2024 primary.
Ooh, that's our burner
that
account.
Is not my burner. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
She had to absolve herself of her previous... I'm going to keep my mind open.
She's wearing a Govzilla shirt with Florida on it. I don't know yet. I just don't know.
Bob to you says, I'm voting for DeSantis. He's got everything Trump has policy-wise and is far more disciplined. Am I only picking DeSantis comments? I don't know.
It appears so.
Hunter says I would have to fight Tyrus on his knees like Dorf on golf.
I don't know if you could say that.
All right. Michael Ryan says, if Trump's running, I'm voting Trump. I'd rather be energy independent with a booming economy and stand up to our communist enemies.
I don't know if that Donald Trump is the only avenue to that, but
neither do I.
It's your vote. Go get him.
I hear that.
Brian Kilmeade.
That's why people are torn between the two. It's because they both would probably do similar things.
It's confident.
That's why I voted no. Is with certainty who I vote for. I still don't know for sure.
What is Ron
lead.
DeSantis not capable of doing that Donald Trump is promising to do?
Oh, promising? I don't know about promising.
No, that's literally what he just said.
Hang on. No, but I can answer the question.
Tape back. He goes, no.
Now, hang on. I can answer the question.
No, you can't. You're panicking.
No, I'm not.
You're circling.
It's that in the way that you phrased it, it's hard to answer that he's promising.
Oh, yeah. Blame it on Annie.
Because one thing that Trump can do that DeSantis can't do is...
Hunter says dunk a basketball.
That's where I was going. I mean, took the words right out of my mouth.
Scooped you.
Is stay independent of the machine. Trump is wealthy enough to do that. DeSantis is not. I don't blame DeSantis for that.
I don't agree with that. Trump kind of is a different machine now.
He's got his own machine for sure.
Trump is not the outsider that he was in 2016, and the part that's not the outsider anymore is actually a benefit to him. That he knows how things work. It took him a while to be fully functional as a president because he was an outsider. If you vote for somebody to come outside to the inside to get stuff done and to pull the weeds, they're not going to know how it works on the inner. They're going to know, this small percentage of how bad it is. You get in and then you go, whoa, this is crazy. And Donald Trump has repeatedly, this is one of the things that I don't think he gets criticized enough for. That I want to see how he's going to do this better. Should he, and I think likely will, be the nominee, he's surrounded himself with some buffoons. And when you listen to him, like the second these people fall out of his favorite word, loyalty, to Donald Trump, he rips them up and down. But he has a consistent record of surrounding himself with these people.
It's very true.
They're his choices to be around him. They're anti-swamp. And again, to his credit, when he's an outsider in 2016 coming in, how are you supposed to know where all the landmines are? So you're going to have to learn a little bit of that along the way. But I'm not seeing a huge amount of evidence that makes me super confident that he's totally learned that lesson and assembled a team that's going to help him get the job done.
Well, I agree. That's one point about DeSantis that I think that he has over Trump is not just people always say discipline, because that is very true. He's much more disciplined in his messaging in the way that he speaks to especially the media about policies. But Trump carries in his wake a lot of people who just did not like working for him. They didn't. Now, he's had multiple businesses. He's had a lot of people who worked for him for a long time too. But in government, he has a lot of people in his past that they say, look, the guy's just kind of a loose cannon. And they don't necessarily think that he's a great leader. DeSantis doesn't have that baggage. I definitely think that is an asset for him.
The Jason Von War on YouTube says, I love how Annie won't let you say anything nice about Trump. Do I not ever say nice things about Trump?
You say nice things about Trump. I just think that one point about if a big donor comes to Trump with strings attached. So I'll give you X amount of dollars for your campaign, but obviously he wants something in return. Trump can just say no. DeSantis can also say no, but there's a lot more risk for him because he doesn't have the finances that Trump has.
Ron DeSantis has very adequate financial support.
He's got a huge war chest now.
But I'm asking you, where has Ron DeSantis capitulated that shows you that he might be willing to do that?
Oh, he hasn't. No, there's no evidence that he has given in to special interests or anything like that.
And he's governed and served significantly longer than Donald Trump has. He's been in the political game significantly longer than Donald Trump has.
Yeah.
So he's had the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, he's only been at the level that he's at since 2018. But he's been in politics for a long time, and you got to raise money all the time in politics, and nobody can ever look to him and say, well, you're kind of in cozy with this group or this guy or whatever. I'm sure he's taken big donations from people. And obviously that's how he's built his war chest. But you can't say that he's capitulated his positions on anything.
I wonder if we polled the audience. I'd have to figure out how to word this poll. If we polled our audience and said, would Annie support Donald Trump for president? I wonder, yes or no, what it would turn out.
Oh, I think that people know that you would. You make that very evident.
I don't. I get criticized for it's important to me that we are able to criticize anybody who is in our government structure. Anybody. Ron DeSantis deserves criticism anytime criticism is due. I'm looking at a lot of the criticism, like the elements that the Trump campaign is choosing to criticize Ron DeSantis on. You've got some sound on that, right?
I do. Yeah, Trump this weekend.
Let's do that. Let's do that when we come back. I mean, to me, it's like, where is Ron DeSantis? Where can you criticize Ron DeSantis? I have not talked on this show about the Ron DeSantis Disney feud because I don't know that I can talk about that here and people hear it and trust me that I'm just not giving some sort. I mean, I really like Ron DeSantis and I go to Disney World. And there are people who don't like Ron DeSantis because they love Donald Trump. And they obviously we have people who hate everything Disney. So if I start going in on that, there's so many preconceived notions that will cloud where I speak on it. But I actually think that I can see with the Disney company and the product so many incredible missteps that they have made that are having a drastic impact because I pay attention to what happens with the company. It is drastically and dramatically affecting that company. And I can see things that Ron DeSantis is doing as the governor there that also have me scratching my head. So I think that there are criticisms that could be levied towards the governor and his pursuit of a private company, but maybe that's where we are in this moment in time in the culture wars or whatever it might be. But I feel like we're so inverted on ourselves as to why we advocate for things and advocate against things that we don't often go straight to the actual principle that we're advocating for. There's always political angles that we're trying to prove because we want the point on our scoreboard that the principle of the matter often doesn't get discussed. And I always kind of feel like the DeSantis Disney one for me on this show would probably be hard to cut through all the noise to make. But there are reasons to criticize Ron DeSantis. There are concerns that people could have that he's too young, that he's not experienced enough. You can go to Donald Trump and say he's too old and not experienced enough or whatever the situation might be. But when I listen to how the prevailing criticisms of Ron DeSantis right now, to me, are a joke. I don't think that they're landing the way they need to be. And there are things that I hear and have criticized Donald Trump for myself. And for some people, it is an unforgivable sin to criticize Donald Trump. And I just have to say, I'm not here to please you in that regard. Because I'm not going to, there's nobody who is Lord of this country. And nobody gets that free pass. At least not on this show. Would I vote for him over Joe Biden? Every opportunity I get in the state of Illinois, like 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not going to be enough.
You could just do one in every county.
Yep. All the counties that I visited, I fill out a voter registration card. That's not true.
Just for clarity, that's not true.
That's not true. No, asterisk. Untrue. Fake
But
news.
Hannah does it.
Yes, for DeSantis. We're going to find out what that proposition that I have for Hannah. I got a big idea for the show, and I got it at the Chris Stapleton concert, and I think I'm onto something. Might need a little Wiggins help on this. And also some of those criticisms that are coming out. Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, is Donald Trump hovering over the target, or are we going, what are you doing? The target is way over there. You're not even close. More on the Annie Frey Show when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is found online at igotfloored.com. You shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet, and that is the place you go locally to get a great deal, to have value as part of the investment that you're making into your home, into your flooring purchase. It's very important that you understand the longevity of Michael's Flooring Outlet. The fact that this family-owned and operated business has been building and growing here in St. Louis for almost 30 years, that you key in on why that is. It's because they offer quality products. When you shop the products at Michael's Flooring Outlet, whether you're looking for hardwood, or maybe you're looking for tile for a bathroom, or maybe you're looking for a carpet that's going to withstand the life that you're going to live on it, and like, look at my house, there's a dog, there are kids, there are spills, there are all sorts of messes that have to go onto that carpet. And you got to make sure you invest in something that is going to live up to that, to stay clean, to secure that investment. They have that Mohawk Silk Strand, Smart Strand brand, and it is a fantastic option when you're looking to put carpet in your home. Michael's Flooring Outlet is going to help you walk through and navigate this whole purchasing process, and that's why they've been so successful in St. Louis. Visit one of their locations or their website at igotfloor.com.
Cardinals baseball is in full swing.
Right center field, a grand slam for Nolan Gorman.
With the free Odyssey app, local fans can listen live all summer long, whether you're at the grill or at the pool.
And it's a goner! An opposite field home run for Wilson Contreras.
Cardinals baseball. Cardinals announcers. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
If you like to work with a local company that gives back to the community, Window World is the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Mark Cox here from my friends out at Window World. What a great product. A lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You've heard me say that before. And they've been around for over 20 years. They have improved the look and the efficiency of over 70,000 homes in the greater St. Louis area. They have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. That's hard to get, right? And that's important. They're ranked number one in the number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. Call them for a free estimate. Let them show you why they say simply the best for less. New doors, new windows. With Window World, they're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800. Or you can go online anytime to windowworld.com.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Hey, if you didn't hear, Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner has been replaced. That is news of the day. So if you want to hear more about that, Kevin Killeen started the show today at 12:07 talking about that. You can rewind on the Odyssey app. The time right now, 2:28. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere.
Where St. Louis comes to talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Chilling on the beach with my sweet Georgia peach. Not a care in the world, just trying to beat the heat. Body like an hourglass, sand on the feet. Can't help but stare, cause I got the best seat.
When the Ron DeSanctimonious facts come out, you will see that he's better than most Democrat governors, but very average at best compared to Republican governors who have done a fantastic job. How about the fact that he had the third most deaths of any state having to do with the China virus or COVID?
What about, is that per capita or just because they're the third freaking largest state?
You got it.
Duh.
That's because they're the third largest state. Yeah, if you want to look at data from the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, Florida did have the third most deaths overall from COVID-19 behind Texas and California.
No, why those two states?
You're right. However, Florida's death rate per population ranked 18th overall, so pretty much right down the center.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The thing that frustrates me about that stuff, everybody does it. The DeSantis team will come out with stuff that's like that too. They'll be statistically accurate, but if you're not paying attention to the context, then it'll be lost on you. They know what they're doing.
You know what's weird is that I think even the people who are in the Trump, like diehard Trump camp, they know what they're doing.
Oh, sure, but they don't care.
That's what I don't like. It's about, you want to win on good terms, and some of that stuff is just stupid. Don't do that dumb stuff.
Imagine being the president who put Fauci front and center and in charge of everything. And again, I'm telling you, what I want for Donald Trump is for him to come out and say, hindsight is 2020. I did the best I could with the information I had, but we have since found out. We've since found out, like in Dr. Birx's testimony, they've talked about how they would manage the president and essentially take what he would, like, they were lying to him and they were not working with him. They were deceitful. And they didn't work with the president of the United States in good faith on behalf of the American people. They wanted an outcome and they manipulated the president and he trusted them. It's a pandemic. I think that the biggest thing, the most powerful thing, and it's probably not too late, but now that Ron DeSantis is in fact in the race, he should have done this before. He should say what he would do differently next time. And you can't say I would do X, Y, and Z differently without saying I shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z in the first place. You'd have to admit a mistake. Nobody expects you to be infallible. We all did things during COVID that we look back and we say to ourselves, I will never do that again.
Mm-hmm.
We all gave in because we were scared. There's nothing wrong in admitting that you were afraid. You had a right to be afraid. It was scary. It was really scary. You made decisions based in fear. We learned new information. And in many cases, we didn't adapt and adjust because the power-hungry people at the top, that I don't think was Donald Trump, but he surrendered some of that authority to Donald Trump, or to Fauci and the people who are in the Fauci camp. He should have taken it back. And if he knows now that he would do that differently the next time, tell the American people. I think the American people are waiting to hear that. And coming out and saying, Ron DeSantis, third highest deaths due to the China virus, is so disingenuous when it's because they have the third largest state in the union. We can figure that out. There are a lot of people who are going to hear that flippantly. They're going to turn that around and spout that off. They're going to get caught by somebody who says that's because they're the third largest state. And you look at per capita and they're the 18th. I would also add in, what is the median age of Florida? It is a huge factor in the deaths that occurred. And that matters. If you look at where their average age is in Florida, and then you look at where their deaths are, you might go, they must have done something right, and look at the sacrifices they didn't make of their freedom and their liberty in the process of getting there. I just wish that the criticisms, gosh, this sounds so naive. I wish they were about policy. I wish we cared about the issues.
Well,
it's stupid to say out loud. I know it, but I still care. It's still in my heart.
Trump's trying to get ahead of Ron DeSantis because Ron DeSantis does have valid criticisms of Trump on COVID. So Trump's trying to say, oh, no, you won't hit me. I'll hit you back. Instead of doing exactly what you're saying and going, hey, you know what? You know what the problem is here, too, is that this fits right into Trump, everything that everybody knows he always says, which is the deep state is out to get you. I mean, his advisors were the deep state.
Yeah.
This is Anthony Fauci. The guy's been in charge of the NIH for 30 plus years advising.
I don't know how you can run for president, put yourself in a position to have to oversee something like this once again and not boldly come out and highlight the mistakes. He's still never come out. I'm not saying you have to be anti-vaccine, but you have to. He can't have his record on the vaccine. And I mean, there are people, and that's a bipartisan concern.
Yeah, coming out and going, hey, you know what I started? Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it's the biggest feather in his cap. And there is a Democrat contender that has the same percentage. You will hear the Trump camp talking about how RFK Jr. has 20%, and they're like, that's huge, blah, 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 blah. Then look at how much Ron DeSantis has, and they're like, it's just this little bitty percentage. And it's like, okay, which way is it? I understand it. I get the politics of it. I'm just saying RFK's 20% is because they are essentially, it's all the COVID. It's all COVID.
Yeah.
That's where the consolidation of the anti-vax group right there on the left. The YouTube live chat poll, do you know with certainty who you will vote for in the 2024 presidential primary? Ryan's a no, I'm a no, Hannah's a fake no.
Yeah, fake no.
Proud of her, though.
I'm not. I think she's being disingenuous to herself and her heart.
I'm
Just
leaning,
like Trump?
I'm leaning
Just
pretty
kidding.
far, but
I'm just kidding, people. I'm a Trump girl. I do have MAGA shirts and hats and Trump hats and DeSantis shirts. I got them both.
Does
Very
DeSantis
conflicted.
have a slogan? Has he come out with
I don't
one?
think he needs one.
Totally awesome.
I mean, that probably would work.
No, I don't know.
Something
what it is.
really short and catchy is all you need. Should Trump change his from MAGA?
No.
That's
Leave
It's
it?
one of the greatest political campaigns in the history of time.
Yeah, but it's a thing now. It's MAGA.
That's the point.
Yes. What?
I guess you're right.
You don't create a
ultimately.
massive brand that even your opponents use against you, and it's like only makes you mightier, and be like, we should really scrap that.
I just wonder if he shouldn't alter it to something like "Make America,"
No, the answer is
safe
no.
again.
You
Or
don't
like
even
add a bunch of other words in there.
Masa?
Or "Make America
No.
affluent again."
No.
Ma.
Make America great again. It's not even Donald Trump's. It's been said in campaigns, in Republican campaigns, maybe I think even Democrat campaigns, possibly. Did JFK use that potentially too, or say it?
Oh, I think every president's probably said it at
Yeah,
some point.
but it's his thing.
Yeah.
No one will ever say it again unless they are campaigning on the coattails of Donald
Right.
Trump.
Right.
Ever.
It's his.
So I'm at this concert this weekend. Friday, we were supposed to have a little bit longer of a trip. It was supposed to be leave Wednesday, visit some family on Thursday and Friday, then go to Cleveland for the Cardinals-Guardians game, and then go down to Columbus, and we saw Chris Stapleton and George Strait, and then work our way home for the big day before Memorial Day party that we always go to with some of our dearest friends. And we had to cut it short so that it was just leave Friday morning to go to Cleveland. So we drove Friday morning from the Metro East to Cleveland, watched the Cardinals-Guardians game. That stadium is stunning. I was obsessed with the way the presentation was for the fan. It was so neat to take in. I posted a picture because it's Progressive Field, and I said it's like my favorite thing that's progressive.
Yeah.
And I tagged the Cleveland Guardians in it, and I have a bunch of people commenting, "It's the Indians, say it right." And I just want to say to you folks, don't get that mad. Like, I don't think that we can continue to move through this time where we need to be sharp and we need to be ready, at the ready, to get that out of shape on Facebook when they're the Guardians. They are the Guardians. I understand why you might think it's stupid that they're no longer the Indians, but they are the Guardians. And also, I can't imagine that the people who are that angry that I referred to the Cleveland Guardians as the Cleveland Guardians, I don't understand. It's not healthy to get so worked up about that you go to people and correct them and insult them because they called something that has changed. Do we live in a society where we need to adapt and say Guardians? And I will also add that while we were in Cleveland and talking to people, we were wearing Cardinal stuff, and they're like, "Oh, are you going to the Indians game?" Most people said Indians.
Mm-hmm.
So they themselves are still referring to it as Indians. When I say Guardians, I'm not saying it. This is the point. I'm not saying it to make a statement. I'm just calling them the
You're
Guardians.
saying that's what's on the ticket.
That's what's like. We are very on edge as a society. We are punches ready to fire all the time, and we need to be ready to fire them when it's important. These types of things to me are not worth the constant anxiety that they cause us to have. If you choose not to shop at Target anymore, make the decision, shop somewhere else, but don't ruin your day over it. You know what I'm saying? It's too much of a burden for us to bear. Make strong intellectual decisions based on your perspective in life. We still have to find ways to be joyful. And we have to not look for things in our world to make us angry, because there's too much real stuff that should make us really angry.
Yeah, I think the emotional aspect of it is probably the strongest argument you can make, is to say that if these things are really making you mad, and I mean mad, not just like flippantly, I still call them the Indians. Okay, whatever, that's fine. But if you're really getting upset about this stuff, man, you're going to live a really upset life. So you got to
every minute.
You got to pick your battles, because as you just said, and as everybody knows, there are a lot of battles, and don't back down from them, but pick the right ones.
And with the right people. When I say Cleveland Guardians, I didn't make the decision to change the name. They did not ask me. Their stadium is beautiful, though. It's so fantastic.
What's so cool about it?
It's just an entirely more personal. I mean, I think it seats like 30,000, so it's much smaller than Busch.
Okay.
And their colors, they're like red, white, and blue.
You look amazed right now.
I just kept like looking around, like like Hillary Clinton looking at balloons on the stage. Just me the whole time.
Wow.
Oh. I know how happy she was. The whole time she was like, "This is amazing."
You should have live fed yourself.
Same.
Showed us the amazement.
I then went to the next day with my husband, and like I said earlier in the show, I bought these tickets all in January, so we've been looking forward to this for months. George Strait, the king of country, if you know, you know, was playing Ohio Stadium, and Chris Stapleton was playing the same concert, Little Big Town before him, and then another act that I don't remember who it was because I wasn't there, not because I was
Powerman 5000.
smashed. It could have been.
Okay.
What did you say? You were smashed?
I was not smashed. I was not there.
Oh.
No.
What am I?
She was so smashed that she wasn't there.
I said,
what she was saying.
I said, I don't know who their act was, but that's not because I was smashed, because I wasn't.
Okay. I figured you weren't.
No, I don't think I had a sip of alcohol the whole time.
I believe that.
Yeah. So we sit down in our seats. Our seats are on the 50-yard line of Ohio Stadium. It is a sight to behold. I'm going to upload some videos to the Annie Frey YouTube channel just to show you the perspective and some of the stuff that we saw, because it was just amazing. But we sit down, we get there for maybe the last 2 or 3 songs of Little Big Town, because we went to see Chris Stapleton and George Strait. And we're not like music festival people. It was a major concession to go to the lengths to see this concert, but it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And we sit down, and I'm just looking around at people, and I'm fascinated by people. I'm fascinated especially by people who don't care that they're around other people, because I'm always 100% keenly aware of who I am, what I look like to other people, very focused on it. And there are people in this world who just don't care.
You're talking about Drunk Dancing Girl, aren't you?
So
here we go.
Maybe, probably.
Here we go.
Not that there's an individual. No. That's a category.
I messaged Hannah, and I go, Hannah, I got an idea for the show. And remind me to pitch to you that you become the DeSantis woo girl. Because every song at this concert, didn't matter who the act was, they play the chord, she goes, woo! And I'm like, They're not all your favorite song, lady, but they
They
were.
were her favorite song at that moment.
They became the favorite song. And I thought, you know what? DeSantis needs a woo girl. And I think we got one on the Annie Frey Show.
He always has a group of people standing behind him at events.
Mm-hmm.
He needs Hannah to stand there, and every time he hits something, woo, yeah!
Yeah, I think that when we play DeSantis sound on this show, unless we have like Casey DeSantis on the show, we don't want her to know that we're doing this.
Well,
maybe. When we play the sound, we need Hannah to come in and get the people hyped. Woo! Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want you
That
to be
girl is me.
the DeSantis woo girl.
I will do it.
Every time, hands up in the air, like she's doing the one-woman wave.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts grooving. And I'm looking at her like, lady, what are you doing? You look like you're having so much fun.
I honestly,
like,
yeah.
It's. I don't look at them like you're embarrassing yourself. It's like, I will never be as comfortable as you are in this moment.
I used to look at them as they're embarrassing themselves. The older I've gotten, the
No.
more I'm amazed that somebody could cast off social shackles.
They don't care.
To the point that they do not have any concern about it.
What kind of freedom comes with not caring what other people think?
They must be very drunk.
Yes.
But then there's something else other than just drinking.
Exists below the alcohol consumption.
Yes.
And it comes out, and I'm looking at these people knowing that I will never be a woo girl for anything. But kind of thinking it'd be fun if I were.
I would like to see at some point you maybe just cross the threshold where you think you could maybe try it. Because I know you wouldn't get there.
No.
But maybe you'd step out like just near drunk party girl.
No.
And maybe just be like just jamming along with her.
You've never seen me influenced by alcohol in any way.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Most of the events we go to, we have to like present things.
I'm on the stage.
Yeah.
It's not encouraged. And I really just am not. I will enjoy a social cocktail. I'm not opposed to it, but I just, there is something that happens where if I drink 2 or 3 drinks, I feel like crap for a long time. I don't know what age that happened at, but it's somewhere before 39 because now it's like, I really want to have the experience in the moment to deal with what I'm going to have to deal with coming up. So, woo girl, I want you to consider it.
I will definitely be a DeSantis woo girl. I'm a woo girl anyway.
I know
think
you
that
are.
comes from
Now-
dance. I don't even know.
Don't
But that
just commit to
concert,
it.
That's going to be me at Morgan Wallen in a couple weeks. I will be wooing everybody.
Now, you can't be saying, oh, I'd love to do that only when you're at a DeSantis event when you're behind him. You have to be that for every DeSantis clip we play, like for a full day.
Okay.
I don't think it's for a full day. We got 525 days to this election.
So many days.
I need to
improve your woo.
Yeah, really get the vocal cords going.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break. There you go. We're starting. Do you know with certainty who you will vote for in the 2024 presidential primary? Yes or no? Go vote in the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We're creeping up towards 6,000 subscribers. There was a suggestion as to what Ryan Wiggins might do if we get to 6,000.
Oh, yeah. I had an idea not too long ago about what I will do.
No, I had an idea.
Oh, you did?
Remember I sent it to you?
No, I don't remember.
Had to do a Target.
Oh, yeah. Alex Stein.
Just have you try something on. Maybe not. Maybe we won't do it if we get to 6,000.
If we don't,
And we
by
don't
a
get to
certain
6,000.
date, then I got to go try on tuck-friendly suits.
All right. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
Way to cool it. Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey. Like
The
a bottle
Annie
of
Frey
Jack
Show is
straight
streaming
to hell.
online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey.
ClosetFactory.com. I have the beautiful shelving and desk space that they came to my home and customized for me and for my kiddos. And we love it. The storage it's vertical storage, folks. So if you're thinking about putting in some sort of customized organization for your house and you start thinking about how you can use that vertical space in your home that you haven't been utilizing, it is a game changer. Garage spaces. Think about right now the space that you have in your garage and the space that you're not using vertically. Once again, Closet Factory comes to your house, they assess your garage situation, and they start talking to you about how you can get that customized storage solution unique to your needs and get the stuff that's sitting on the floor in your garage up in a place where it belongs. It's dramatically going to affect your ability to use your garage, to be in your garage, to work out of your garage, to park in your garage. They have beautiful solutions for you if you want to show it off to folks. And they just have, of course, very usable, very affordable solutions to solve that closet problem that you have right now or that garage problem that you have right now. You can find them online at closetfactory.com.
If you're a business owner, you know how important security is when it comes to your confidential email. Mark Cox here from my friends at myemailservice.com. Chances are if you use public email, it's not giving you the security and the privacy you need for your business. Myemailservice.com gives you unmatched security, and they'll keep your information secure and protected. Plus, you get fast local service for any issues. Go to myemailservice.com or call 314-216-2040.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pills or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now and your initial consultation and first treatment with our physicians are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this worth hundreds of dollars is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Let's make room for 72 more families to stay together during extreme medical emergencies each day by supporting the Ronald McDonald House Charities of St. Louis Capital Campaign. Please visit rmhcstl.com and learn the ways you can donate.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Hope you're having a great Memorial Day weekend. Tuesday afternoon when the Mark Reardon Show returns, Josh Hammer, the opinion editor of Newsweek, will make the case for Ron DeSantis for president.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
When Target caves into this, then it says that the moment you threaten the employees of even a very large corporation, you get to control its policies. This is economic terrorism, literally terrorism, creating fear among the workers and forcing the corporations to sell the things you want and not sell the things you don't.
So that is MSNBC talking about how this Target boycott is akin to economic terrorism. And it's funny because I don't feel like that's what they thought it was when they were saying that, you know, they've done that to Chick-fil-A. The left has done that to Chick-fil-A. They've canceled, what was her name from the
Gina Carano?
Gina Carano. I mean, like, cancel culture has been so much more personal than boycotting. The idea of economic terrorism, Americans deciding where to spend their money and how to spend their money, he probably just hates capitalism.
That whole argument, and maybe there's something out there. I'm sure somebody somewhere has threatened someone because in every instance there always is something like that. But for the most part, if my wife, for instance, goes, you know what, maybe we just don't shop at Target. Does that mean that we hate the employees of Target and we're we're so angry at them that we're threatening violence against them? I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like to me, is that he's saying a boycott is terrorism.
Confession time. So we go to Cleveland, and who knew? Lake effect, it's cold. It wasn't just cool. It was cold. We looked at the temperature, and it was like 70, I don't know, low to mid 70s during the day, and in the evening it was going to be 63 or something. It's like, 63, jeans, t-shirt, maybe long sleeves, whatever. It was winter coat. Cool.
No kidding.
Cold for us.
Oh, we were swimming this weekend.
I know. So my husband and I are like, do we just go and sit there? And then if it's super cold, go buy something from the gift shop. Super expensive. It's going to be a Cleveland Guardians thing. So we decided to Uber, and there was a Target. So we Ubered to Target. And I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be in here.
Don't take pictures.
Don't tell everybody on the radio show. But we went into Target and walked in, and there's the whole Pride display.
You saw it?
I did not see the tuck-friendly swimsuit, and I looked everywhere for it. I said to my husband, I go, well, if I'm here,
might as well find it.
Better do some research.
If I win, I would look.
And
you can write it off as a business trip.
Yeah, I bought a hoodie and a blanket. It's for the show.
Right.
And I was going around and looking at the stuff, and it just occurs to me that the idea that you would put Pride merchandise in the front of your store, this isn't a new thing. And I can't stress enough, if you look at what Target execs have said, if you look at what that Bud Light marketing exec said about the problematic brand of Bud Light, if you look at, what's the other one? Bud Light, Target, there's one more.
Right now?
Miller?
No. I can't remember what the other one is. If you go and you look at the background of how these people are Disney, when you hear that they're like intentionally putting things in their programming to influence people in this pro LGBTQ plus whatever, or woke to sum it all up, the people in the background are intentionally trying to influence your morals and values because they feel obligated to do so. They're not trying to acknowledge people. They're trying to change the way you see things. That's the problem that consumers have.
Thank you.
It's not just that you are selling Pride merchandise. It's bigger than that. It's the fact that these corporations have an immense amount of power to try to affect the way you think, and they're utilizing their big corporations against you. So God forbid that consumers use their dollar against corporations.
All right, YouTube poll, super close. Do you know with certainty who you will vote for in the 2024 presidential primary? Yes or no? With over 185 votes, 52% of the people said no. They don't know with certainty.
That's close.
49% of the people said that they do.
That's 101%. It must have changed while you were talking about it.
Super close.
That is crazy. We thank you for voting for in our poll. We can't fix it now. It's too late. That's another thing that went wrong today. Mark Reardon, clean this mess up.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify and receive your free tax assessment by dialing 800-341-3137. If you or your business owe back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-341-3137. 800